Hello and welcome to Fire in the Belly. Today we have myself, Mighty Pete, and we're joined by Melissa Mosher. Good afternoon or good morning, I should say, for you. Or what day? What time of the day is it with you? I'm totally lost track. That's a great start.
That's super fun. Well, when you live and work online, every day is all the time. So it's almost 2 o'clock here. I'm outside of Seattle, Washington in the US. I am so excited to be here today. Thanks for letting me come crash your party.
It's an absolute pleasure. Listen, it's always great to meet sort of random and strange people, and we've kind of had a bit of a pre-show chat, and yeah, I know it's going to be
I
good.
qualify for both, random
Yeah,
and strange.
it's it's always, and I'd say it's almost like it's a well accredited title that you're very proud of too.
I do. I like it.
So you've given us the first bit. So tell us, what do you do and who are you as a person?
As a person, I love this. If I do my job today with this interview, you will be inspired and exhausted by the end of it. And if I do really well, Pete will be exhausted too. My name is Melissa Mosher. I'm outside of Seattle, Washington. I am in corporate remission. So I've come with a 15 plus year career in corporate America, now turned savvy business hustler, entrepreneur, business strategist, and virtual event production. So all things online, and we'll kind of dig into some of those. But yeah, left corporate, said, hey, I'm going to do my own thing, and have been running forward at light speed. I was like, I have hobbies. They're being online. What are my other hobbies? Being online. I play video games and I build businesses. Those are kind of my two big things.
Give us the highlights then. Video game and business building. What are your highlights there?
Right, highlighting. So taking it back just a little bit, if you're watching this on video, I'm older than I look. So I started gaming before Twitch, before kind of it was cool for girls to game. And I joke and say everything I learned about organizational development, I learned from playing video games. So the idea of having structure and collaborative teams and trying to get people to do stuff that don't report to you and you're not paying them was sort of a skill I found early on. And then that allowed me to get into gaming at a higher stanchion than maybe my peers, because I could get folks to do things. I have a little sign on my desk that says, I'm not bossy. I just know what you should be doing. That's how I live. And so I started doing the gaming. I was out working with other people in their games and guilds, and I went, you guys suck. You're doing it all wrong. Of course I say that, because that corporate career that I alluded to was in executive assistant, specifically in business operations and product management. What does that mean? I help a lot of really expensive people arrange the tech tools and teams to build really expensive products. Everything from software to retail to all these things. So I took my product management, my marketing, the corporate structure, all the sterility of strategy, applied it to video games so that I could game better. That's really all I wanted to do. I wanted to do the really hard stuff. And I knew that in order to do it, I had to get other people to join my brigade, to join my guild with me. So that is when I started figuring out how to get people to do stuff. And then that then bled back into my career. Ooh, I'm getting better at getting people to do stuff. Now I'm getting bigger people and bigger stuff to do. And then the third tier to weave into that in the corporate, if you take the gaming online and then into the corporate world, virtual events, remote meeting facilitation, town halls, stakeholders, like way back in the day. I've been in administration and biz ops for almost 20 years. Back when we used to have speaker bridge lines and attendee bridge lines and an operator on the line. So kind of wrangling all of these. In my world, it's all the same thing. It's getting remote people to do remote stuff together, understand their tools, and go raid, go get a project done, go get an event done. And so just building on that, that's what I'm doing now. Actually, people are like, oh, virtual events, is that new? Just since the internet, that's all. Not too new. But now that folks are kind of coming out of this brick and mortar work mindset, the gamer community is sitting back going, how do we help enable them to work online, right? So you've got the gamers that are professional, but there's a whole little mini network. There's a little dark net of all of us where we're going, really? Y'all don't know how to spool up Zoom? Let me help you with that. And here we go.
Gamification's just, I mean, the worlds are colliding, right?
Right. It's the idea of getting folks to do, like, why is gaming so popular, right? And why is it, and I've actually worked at Twitch. one of my favorite parts, so taking that as a tangent, one of my favorite parts of working at Twitch, partner raids. So when a streamer, so if you don't know what Twitch is, it's like taking YouTube and ESPN for video games and smashing them together. So it's like competitive esports and it's streaming. So it allows gamers to actually, if you think about it, oh, who's going to pay to watch a gamer stream? I don't know. You all pay to watch golf. So, I don't know why people want to watch that, but people want to watch it. People want to watch gaming. So when I'm at Twitch, we have what's called partner raids. When you reach a certain level in your stream or your people or your followings or whatever, then you achieve partner status. And that then allows you to monetize your channel. Why it was one of my favorite parts and the thread to my whole life is I love being with excited people doing exciting things. When a partner achieves partner status, an internal alert goes off to all of the Twitch staff and we go partner raid happening in 10. We will actually, as many staffers as we can, go bomb their channel. And we'll say, hey, you've got an announcement. Go check your email, da, 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 da. And they're in a live stream. And you see them open up their live or their email and achieve partner status. And I have seen grown men cry. Maybe that should be my tagline. I love seeing grown men cry. Like so excited. Like I've worked so hard to get here. I've tried to up my game. I've tried to be a good streamer, and just literally having these guys be so overwhelmed, they're girls too, but having them be so overwhelmed, I'm like, wow, take what you're good at, get it in a channel that fits, the tech or tools that fits your audience and users, and go make, go do, go share, whatever it is, get up and go. And so I feel like that gaming versus corporate versus events, it all just blends into let's figure out what's next. What do we need? Let's go next. What do we need? Let's go next.
How would it be to actually drop you into a non-internet based environment? Would it work for you?
I would struggle. I would definitely struggle. I know that I am so online. I am the definition of an addict, right? In terms of online. I just recently took 5 days off and I hadn't done that in almost 2 years. I feel, well, hell, you can just say, give me an iPhone and I'm lost. Like, frankly, I'm so ingrained in it and it's so a part of me. The idea of going, if I don't know something, I got to go ask. I can look it up, like this instant gratification. I know how to figure out problems. But if you were to put me on an island, I am useless. I don't know how to boil water, right? So there is that opportunity cost. So people are like, oh, but Em, you're so good at this. You make this look so easy. Yes, but I have actually traded most of my social functioning skills to be good at this. I am not wife material. Like I am never going to be Susie Housemaker. Yeah, I don't know what I would do. Like even on a personal level, like my career. What if the internet went down tomorrow? I have no idea what I would do. And in some regard, I feel jealous, like the life of an entrepreneur. Today I'm on the top of the world. Tomorrow I'm going to go bag groceries. I'm done with this. I can't do this. The idea of pushing through it, even if it's something that you're not really good at, I get jealous sometimes of folks that have a trade. Like they have something tangible. They have a thing that they do. They have, even if it's something like a website, you can point to it and go, I'm a podcast host. Cool. What's an online person do? I'm a online person. So I just stick with what I know. Like I don't know how to function.
Nothing wrong with sticking with what you know. I mean, that's the problem. People try stuff that they don't know and they keep at it. And it's like, please don't.
Yeah, right. That would be my singing career that I don't have.
Yeah. Keep it to the bathroom. That's all right. Tell me, what does fire in the belly mean to you?
I love this title. So I have to give a shout out for the title because it made me want to be on the show. This is my first show. This is the one that I was like, this is where I'm going to do the interview. I want to do this one. Fire in the belly. For me, that is that insatiable urge to drive forward. I cannot ignore it. Even if I wanted to, I can't. I would love to be able to be a Walmart greeter. And I don't mean that in a derogatory sense, but rather just to be able to live simply, to provide a service, get a payment, and go about my day. I can't. I've tried. I can't. I have to get up every day something's pushing me forward. It's getting that business to the next level. It's getting that connection. It's getting whatever, back to that gamification, that game, or what's the next level. There's never a time where I log into a game and just walk around going, well, this is lovely. I don't have anything to do. So for me, fire in the belly is waking up every day going, I have bills to pay and income to make. How am I going to do it? Or I've got relationships I need to mend. I've got to go act like a girlfriend. I got to put a post-it note and say, look, it's time to go girlfriend. You need to go do that. But being driven to be present in your life, having a fire in your belly.
And what is taking you there? Because you mentioned a couple of things. I mean, is it the challenge of the potential? Is it building other people up and getting the feedback of what's going good for you, or the pain, pleasure? What
Like what makes
is
you
it?
get up
You know,
and do
you
it
talk.
again? Um,
Yeah.
I think for me, drilling back a little bit to early in my career, I was very passive. I've always been outspoken, but I was very passive. And starting as a receptionist and administrative assistant, you're in a subservient role. Again, age. This is 20 years ago, right? So I'm 20 years ago. I'm in a subservient role. Doesn't mean I'm a servant, but I am in a subservient role. I'm in a support role that's not terribly articulated. Nobody says I want to be an admin when I grow up and here's the career path. And I'm working for men, which is great. I find them easier to work with than females, but like I'm working for men. So I'm very in a second seat, finding myself kind of retreating, but seeing things go one way or the other. And I thought, well, I don't want to be a mousy blue hair, like for lack of a better. I didn't want to be this like old biddy. I wanted a seat at the table. I wanted to get involved. And so I knew I had to learn more stuff. I had to have a self-provoked life. Nobody was going to cheer me on. They can support me, they can guide me, but nobody is going to do nothing for me. Like in terms of I saw that online the other day. Extreme independence is a trauma response, right? When you are extremely independent, which I am, I'll move a mountain, but there's part of that is going, okay, well, you had to get trampled on apparently a few times in order to do that. And coming from like just a little bit, like I was raised by a single mom, like we have to get up every day and participate in life. There is no second parent around. There isn't, a friend or an aunt or whatever that can come hang out. It's like you got to get up and do work in your life. And if you don't, you're going to be at the effect of other people. And so I think I took a trip overseas when I was younger, and I came back owning my life in that regard, going, look, I can't wait for anybody, not even somebody with a fancy act, and I got to get active in it. So for me, getting out of that passive mindset, I just got trampled a lot.
Two things, I think, for anyone that's listening, and you talked about the mousy blue hair, you're not blue haired and you're not mousy.
Oh, good.
So just for anyone that's listening in, just to clarify that, you talked about that changeover. I mean, when did that happen? The sort of, going from enough of the trampling, I'm kind of going to stand up here.
Yes.
When was that flip point?
When you think about being an assistant, or folks that are listening to this, think about being an assistant. Traditionally, you think of the admin sitting at the desk, answering the phone with the notepad, and there's a lot of that. There totally is a lot of that. But if you think about leaders in business and execs and the personality types, those roles, again, we're talking 15, 20 years ago, we're much more diverse now in the last 5 years, but when you think about those folks and what they need and how they got there, they are not going to open the door, pull out the chair, ask if you'd like some water, right? So you decide. For me personally, I went, okay, this is my intentional career. I dropped out of college to pursue this because I met some executive assistants that had new Mercedes, and I went, wait a minute, excuse me, what? You make how much without a degree? I'm doing that. So the idea of going, all right, I want to go play in this sort of Shark Tank, so to speak, and I want to be really good, right? That Midwestern kind of, I want to do a good job and be proud. Well, here's the thing. Nobody cares. Like in that world, no one's going to pat you on the back. Nobody's going to say, man, Thank you very much. Nobody's going to say that. So if you don't sort of take up your own space, I learned, you will get completely crushed and trampled. You'll just get completely trampled. So I went and decided to take a trip. Incidentally, it was across the pond from Seattle. So it was actually so I went to London and then I ended up in Belfast. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take my life in a different direction. Chased a boy across the pond, got the whole exotic accent thing. I watched the changing of the guards on my 20th birthday. That was so cool, blah, blah, blah. But I felt like I was again in a situation where I was a little bit trampled or trying to navigate other people's agendas. And I went, okay, I had enough. I'm out. I'm done. Nobody's telling me anything to do ever again. Right. And it was almost like being tired, like a bad relationship and some rough jobs is really what it went to. And it wasn't a bad relationship, like a bad person, but just not being present. And I just went, dang it, man, I'm totally going to sit and so I did at 20 years old. I said, hey guy, have a nice life. I'm going to go backpack on my own for a while. And so I came back to the US then and went, all right, I need to get real intentional about this. If I'm going to sit up and say, hey, pay attention to me, then I better have something worth saying. So let me start to look through life with the lens of what is my overall plan? What strategies and tactics do I need to get there? Obviously, I have a higher language nomenclature for it now. I wasn't this prolific at 20 years old, but just going, man, there's got to be something better than this. It can't be the case that my then mind was, once you turn 40, that's just, you're unhappy the rest of your life. Everyone I knew was unhappy, slogging through a job, making enough money. And I just went, this doesn't sound logical to me, to just take your ration and go back to your desk. And so that's when I sort of started making mistakes at light speed, because my personality type is like, all right, let's do it. We're doing this. We're going 100 different directions. So having to kind of come back after a rocky first start of the career, rocky relationship. Okay, I'm going to do all this. I then had a really rocky career after that. I would joke and say I had a rocky career in general, but I might lean that towards the fact that I'm a tough employee, right? I'm the type of person that's going to tell you, I think that's a bad idea and here's why, but you can make whatever decision you want. Folks aren't always receptive to information of going, hey, I'm just here to help you win. And if it's not, if you don't want to win this way, then we'll win another way. Taking that, for lack of a better, combative nature into your career can help and hurt in a couple ways. So side note, funny story. I had a CFO. Here's an example of my personality type in my career. CFO, I'm very young. I'm like 22 or 23. Calls me into the office. Of course, I'm the person that gets called into the office. If anyone's getting called to the office, it's me. And he said, well, we got to have a seat. Let's have a chat. And I said, cool, great. He goes, you're a combative employee. Without missing a beat, zero hesitation. I said, I wouldn't be if you weren't wrong so much. That's not really conducive to keeping a professional C-suite career, ladies and gentlemen. Let me tell you, that did not help my case. However, for me personally, in that kind of ownership, because that's how I felt at the time. And in that moment, I was present for my consequences. And that's what I think becoming active in life is, being present for your consequences.
How many people do you think are present?
I would say in a minority of folks are, in my world, present for their consequences. Specifically, I feel like a lot of folks are present for their desires, and I get permission to have feelings, and I feel like people are starting to become more present with themselves, with their mental health, their emotional health, they're becoming more present, but specific to consequences. Right? There is no right and wrong. There are only consequences. You can make choice A or choice B, just understand the consequences that go with them and then own it. Right? I wouldn't be if you weren't wrong so much. That's how I felt. Could I have presented it a little bit differently? Sure. But at the end of the day, that's my DNA. Like, be prepared for the consequences. Like, run your brand, do you, but just know that there are going to be consequences you may or may not intend. And that's okay. They're not necessarily negative or positive. I wish folks would be more present for their consequences in terms of ownership. I don't know if that makes sense. Like, yep, screwed up, made a mistake, going to do it differently in the future. Let's go forward.
That takes a clarity of thinking. I mean, a speed of processing that actually allows you to do that, right? I mean, you need confidence, you need clarity of thinking to be able to communicate that across, because otherwise you just sound like a crazy angry fool in the office, right? So
Yeah. And then folks will ask, like, how do you gain that clarity, and how do you find your life purpose or your financial goal, like whatever your anchor point that's your fire, right? Whatever that anchor point is, whether it's I want to have this family, this job, this business, whatever that thing is, being able to, or let me back up and say, myself not being married with no kids puts me at a huge advantage in terms of self-discovery and space to think about this stuff. So when I go to consulting and some of my business work, that's one of my value adds, is like, trust me on this. This is a whole lot of thought. In one of my groups, I talk about learn lifting. What's the lift to learn this thing? Do I need to lift huge, or can I just learn a little and get somebody else to do it? So this idea of clarity, mindset, purpose, direction, that's a huge learning lift that I have been privileged or made the choice. Like, I made the choice not to breed. It's not, I saw the video, that looks gross. But in that, yeah, I got to have a career that maybe other women didn't have the space for because they had kids and all these cool tactics and stuff. I've had more space and time. So especially with working with my coaching and consulting clients, I say patience, love, and grace. This amount of clarity that I feel like I own was incredibly time consuming and expensive. I traded having a family to obtain it. I didn't know that was the trade I was making at the time, but like, not trying to set my client stage at my level, I can help you walk through this clarity process because I have mind effed it to the ends of the earth for the last 5 years.
what would young Melissa have made of current day Melissa?
Probably would have been scared of her, frankly. That's a lot of energy going in a lot of different directions that doesn't maybe have a single vector yet, right? I also think, quite honestly, that it would be somebody I'd want to be. So I'm sitting here, I recently had my 40th birthday, having session offline, off the keyboard. I know it was crazy, but I survived. And sitting here going, who would I be proud of the person I am today? I'm not the person that this isn't the life and situation we thought was going to happen, but I'm not disappointed. I'm not disappointed. I'm happy with where the adventures that have left me here, where I'm at, where I'm going next. But I don't have a clue what's next in that regard. I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. I still don't know what I'm supposed to do outside of get up, pay bills, right? Like, meaning contribute, make your funds, feed yourself, put yourself in a house. To have the younger version of me really, truly feel that you master the internet, you are going to do anything. Like, don't hide from it, right? Don't hide from it. It's not just for gamers. It's not just this little dirty habit that you're hiding on the side. You know what I mean? I mean, I was back in the day borrowing or trading, mowing lawns to get people PC discs for more hours, right? Like, I'm a little crackhead running around trying to get hours for my CD. But having that younger person go, look, it actually doesn't matter what you decide to do. Just do the shit out of it. Do the absolute shit out of it. Pick a thing and go. It is scary. It's going to be lonely at times, and it's going to be super confusing. But that's where you've got to get, like, I've got to get grounded in myself. And I think that's what I've spent the last 10 years of my career and personal life is trying to find that that grounding. I was like, oh, wait, people aren't unhappy when they turn 40. They just understand the game. That's kind of how I feel now.
Yeah, it's kind of like, okay, the practice wheels are off, all the messing about. It's time to just you're getting the real guns, you're getting the the real stuff. And yeah, so that's what you get when you're 40, like, right?
Right. It's and to some level it's scary because now you have the keys. Right. So I joke with one of my friends and said, I feel like turning 40 for me has been like they gave me my driver's license too early. Like, you don't understand. I'm not qualified. I'm not a grown up yet. But now it's like you're 40 going, here's the keys to your life. Now you drive. Oh, crap. Ugh, what do I do now? Kind of tagging back on that corporate career, like, I got tired of people deciding how much I make. I got tired of people deciding what time I get up, what time, what kind of work I should be doing, what kind of roles I should be applying for. No, let me figure out me and go, what do I want to do? Because I think folks, I love the self-reflective time I have, but it's also a blessing and a curse because I'll overanalyze. I don't have anything like to pull me out of it, let's say. So I can overanalyze 1,000 different ways. And I don't have the, okay, I need to put this down and go feed the kid now. Like, I don't have that. So I sit here going, I love all this self-analytical. I wish I could do it with more people. But at the end of the day, it all boils to enjoy, know what you're good at, and get coin responsibly. That's it. Like, get coin responsibly. I know, oh, it's easy. But when you think about the admin world and the female dominated world, and particularly with females. So we have an interesting relationship with money in terms of how we're taught to interact with it. Oh my God. Like, to this date, let me be honest. I have never met a male. There are some out there that have said, I wonder if I asked for too much salary. If you're on video, my face, my eyeballs just jumped out of my head. Like, I've never met thousands of females that have said that. Right? Like, how, worth as a human being versus the value of your service. No matter what the trade or service, if you can articulate the value you bring, people will find you and give you coin to get it. Or so the theory says.
Do you get what you deserve?
I have an interesting relationship with the word deserve.
Give us the background, give us the context.
My game set. Yeah. So for me, deserve means or can mean like a scoreboard. And I don't feel like life has a scoreboard. I don't think that my actions or the experiences that happen to me are an accumulation of actions, right? I can follow everything on be a good business owner checklist and bad stuff's going to happen. So deserve to me, I struggle with because that implies that there's like a scoreboard and a game and rules and somebody in the sky keeping track. I don't know because I don't know what I deserve because that's a hard one for me to ask. Have I earned things? And I may be being quite pedantic right now, but have I earned things? Yeah, I've put in a lot of hours. I've invested a lot of hours, time, money, resources into building the parts and pieces that make me. Do I believe that there is reward for that effort? Yeah, I do. Will I get it? I don't know. Maybe. Right? That's not why I'm doing it. I'm not doing life with the guarantee that I'm going to die peacefully in some easy sleep with millions of dollars, surrounding me. Like, that's not going to happen. We don't go into these adventures, these business programs or projects, or even these romantic relationships going, okay, this is only because I deserve it, or this is because I'm in it if it comes out perfectly. I don't know what we deserve because I don't know what the game is. I don't know the parameters. Like, I don't believe, like, does humanity deserve violence? Right? Does it deserve, do people deserve bias and unconscious, but like, I don't know. I'm struggling because I get hung up on words. Like, I don't actually know or understand deserve.
What would you change it to? I mean, you mentioned reward there. Is reward a fair exchange? What's exchange your potential for something, whatever you think is right, your reward.
Right, like an ROI.
Yeah, are you rewarded for your potential?
Oh, I like that. Ooh, that's a good one. You should write that one down. I would say I'm rewarded for, because I don't know how to measure potential. I believe that the efforts I invest are rewarded. So yeah, I know I'm getting all like, I'm terrible. No, I think that what I do is interesting and weird, random and weird. Is that how we started it? Random and weird. I think what I do is random and weird. I think that I invest a lot of time and energy. I don't believe the ROI is balanced right now, meaning I'm doing more giving than receiving too. The idea of giving away time or doing free events, people are like, oh, that's so nice and that's lovely. Yes, it's self-serving. It means you can't complain because you didn't pay me. No, you know what I mean? Like this meta kind of nagging urge of, I'm still always going to do stuff. I'm going to throw energy at it regardless of ROI, because that's my personality type. But I've been receiving a lot of positive feedback, and folks that are saying, yep, more please. Okay, you got to do more please. Or folks that are like, you got to go talk to Mighty Pete. Awesome. Okay, more please. Yep, being present and going in that direction. I think it's tough to say, do I deserve my success, or is it working? Yeah, I mean, I think it's working. I can afford the internet. The lights are on for as much as I can tell. But where it goes next, what the ultimate scorecard is, like if somebody's going to say, well, can I see your P&L? If that's how you measure success, I like avoiding taxes. No, I'm kidding. But like, like that's not how I measure success. That's a tactic in my business. You're not going to get a good health temperature from my P&Ls. But what is the investment? For me, it's waking up every day going, can I help one person? Can I help one person avoid a mistake that maybe ruined me or crippled me or had a ripple effect that was way worse than I thought it did? I should be waking up going, how am I making money today? But I don't. I'm getting there.
What's your overarching mantra then?
Compete less, collaborate more. I recognize that that's a bit of a flip on the person who is extremely independent, right? But it makes sense. It's a Venn diagram, right? No, I really do believe in collaboration, but not in the way that I think people are traditionally using it. I think people look at collaboration as some kind of free trade or some non-currency exchange, and it sort of is in that. But the idea of collaboration for me is having similar motives and goals. So for the folks that referred me to this show or referred me to another event, they are legitimately invested in bringing me resources and energy that help me grow. And in return, I do the same for them. We had our chat a little bit before this episode. You have already invested energy and support into me and my brand and listening to me. I'm absolutely compelled to do that in return.
Do you think that's is that a unique thing? Do you think? I mean, people just don't get that yet, or what's your take?
In my experience, it seems like it's new and unique. And the reason why I say new and unique is because that's the thing I get asked for the most, is this intentional networking, this strategic partnership. Well, if we spin back to the gamer model, it's what gamers do, y'all, right? So it's that guild mentality of, hey, we want to go do cool stuff together, right? But we can't all, it's like being in a tree fort, right? Like, well, okay, who's going to get the wood? Well, who's going to find the tree? Well, who's going to get the nails? So while I'll sit here and say I'm incredibly independent, I'm building a tree fort. It doesn't actually mean that I'm the one picking up the hammer and the nails, right? It's me driving it. It's me saying, well, I want a tree fort. Let me find the talent, tools, and teams to be able to do that. And so I think folks look at collaboration as a transaction rather than this like interactive partnership. So I've got one client that's, she's great. She does she does speaking events and she does training and stuff. And we talked about, she goes, oh, I can't do any more free events in my world. And I went, tell me more. Tell me why. Well, because I don't make any money. Okay, but we're talking collaboration and brand exposure. It may be the case that you do this free event, but you book 10 coaching calls from that, right? The collaboration is you're partnering with that event host to be able to share brand and energy. You're planting seeds for future flowers. So that's where I'm kind of meandering to, is that for me, collaboration is planting seeds. It's not an outcome. That's a business transaction. And if we're having a business transaction, here's the contract, here's the pay me, and then we're done, right? That's a transaction for me. Collaboration is much more than that. It's figuring out what drives you, what inspires you, what kind of, like, if we go back, like to do, what kind of games do you like to play? Are you a nighttime player? Are you a morning player? Are you an EMEA or a UK player? Thinking more about what is being exchanged outside of money, right? If you send me 15 emails to pick my brain, girlfriends, I love you, but you just took 2 hours of my life. That's not collaboration. You didn't give me anything back in return.
What do you get in the gaming world that you maybe do or don't get in the sort of professional world?
Yeah, that's a good one. Acceptance is the first one. A lot of the gamers, if you think about it, we kind of gravitate, we feel socially awkward in real life, right? We're very much, if you met me in real life, I'm very much circling the edge of the room. I'll MC and do speaking things. So you're seeing me now and I'm extrovert or what have you. That's putting on an avatar. That's me putting on my guild tabard going, okay, I'm on stage now. I fell in face first into gaming because of the camaraderie, because of it's almost like instant friends, right? Hey, you're socially awkward and you can't talk to anybody about the things that you like, and all you want to do is stare at a screen with pixels for 35 hours a week. Let's be buds. That being accepted was first and foremost. And then the second part was thing I loved about it that was different than corporate. I got to decide who I gamed with, how I gamed, how much I wanted to game, how little I wanted to game, if I wanted to go do, and for those folks that are listening to that are gamers, it's even worse than that. So I will tell you, it was World of Warcraft. Hold for applause. No, so in that, like, just the style of gaming that I played was incredibly complex, and like I could just talk all day. I joke and say I'm going to write a book, right? Everything I learned about organizational development, I learned in gaming, taking remote teams and then getting to go do achievements. That's another thing that we don't do much in corporate. Achievements, right? In a game, you get badges and dings, like bing, bing, bing. You get alerts, right? What do you get in corporate? Here's your 5-year watch. Awesome. Now I know what time I'm late for work. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Right? So the idea of the recognition part of it, like in gaming, when we killed a boss, we got together and took a screenshot, man. Like that took us 5 hours and 2 weeks and 10 wipes. And we are all just busting, like back to the Twitch raids, these partner raids. I love that part. Corporate doesn't have that. Corporate gives you money, or in gaming, dungeon kill points, gives you DKP, but there's none of that, like, yeah, let's do it. I have a lot of that. Yeah, let's do it, right? Like, you see, there's nowhere for that to go in the corporate world. Execs don't necessarily like you screaming and cheering at them every morning. So you kind of have to find a place for it.
Kind of sounds like that's your vent. You kind of, just cap it and contain it through the day and then just let rip at night.
Yes. And I would say that's super true, even down to the point of how I ran a guild. So I was in other people's gaming guilds. And of course, I'm like, you're doing this wrong. This is not how groups work. This is how the game works. But y'all have never had a job or something, right? Because I had started kind of my corporate career. So I went, all right, well, I'm going to start my own. That'll be easy. No, it's actually not. But it's things like websites, recruiting, auditions, finding out people's gaming, like all of this stuff. And I thought, well, I'll just treat it like a job, right? Instead of an app, they got to have an application, they got to have an interview, we got to have skills testing. Like, so you take that corporate stuff, grinding through all these processes and people all day long, and your bank account. That's the thing with EAs. They joke and say they get you with the money, because if you're in this career long enough, what in the world am I going to just pivot and go do for 6+ figures a year? You know what I mean? Like, it's not like I'm going to go be EA and all of a sudden I'm going to write software, right? So we're sitting here going, let me take this corporate thing, apply it to this guild thing, and build my own. It was literally building a new business. What's the name going to be? What are the mission and values? What kind of gamers are we going to have? In that vein, I was a hard ass to raid with, right? And when I mean hard ass, so we have something where in a game you have damage meters, right? So you're going to see who does the most damage. Your healers aren't supposed to be doing damage, right? They're supposed to be down here. And then you have your big damage providers up here. And we're talking 40-man raids. I need myself and 39 other highly skilled at my level or better just to do these raids. So I would have damage meters, right? And I'd post them at the end of the raid. If you were in the bottom 4 for damage and you were supposed to be a damage class, I did not let you in the next raid. You have better, if you are here to provide damage, you had better provide some damage, because if you're limping along, if you're lower than my healers, you do not get to go to the next raid. You actually have to go get better gear. You got to go show me that you can take up space. So I took some of that like unapologetic cruelty from corporate America, applied it into gaming, and we took off. Like for 2.5 years, we were pretty good on our, you know, I have 6 server first, and we were on a high pop server of 20,000 people. And I got featured on some things with Blizzard and like, so all of this. So it seemed to have worked, right? Going, all right, I understand what we want to do. We want to raid, we want to play video games, But let me take some of that corporate structure, strategy, and accountability, lay it on top of my guild. Yeah, you had to audition to get in. And if you weren't a mesh for the group, you're out. I can't, what is it? The rotten apple in the basket and lead a horse to water and drown it, or whatever that is. But it's like, you got to come in and play. Like, we're here to win. We're here to, and we'll lose together too. It's okay when we lose, but we have got to show up 100%.
Are you born to lead, or can you be subservient? Can you play along, or do you need to sort of find that you think faster, move faster than everyone else around you?
I think I want to be the first one, but I'm actually the second one. I think I have had a number of folks tell me, ask me, nudge me into a leadership role. And I feel like I end up there by default or just out of personnel. Like, oh, you're doing it wrong. Here, just get out of the way. Let me do it. As I've gotten older, I like that side of it. So am I actualized enough where I can sit here and go, oh, I'm a leader? Not, but I'm an aspiring thought leader and contributor, I guess. I'm no longer employable. I joke and say I'm no longer employable. I like being up here. I like being in the strategy, the vision, because I have all the tactics backing me up going, cool, this is what we need. I would love to do it better. I mean, of course I love to do it. Whatever I'm doing, I'd love to do better. I don't know what being a leader means in that context, but it sounds cool. Like, yeah, I would like to do that. I think that's where I go, because I just kind of elbow my way into, I elbow my way into stuff. Like I just always have. I'm the atypical assistant. Folks are like, oh, tell us about your admin career. When your other admins do everything I didn't. Like, I assure you, if you follow my career path, it is going to be long and bruised. Because I do. I'm just that throwing elbows here. Get out of the way. Let me do it.
Love it. How can clients serve you best? I mean, who you best? Yeah, who are your best clients that you can, they can serve you?
I like this. This is a great question, because I always have this Venn diagram. So I'm this weird Venn diagram of virtual event production, strategic business ops, and then this whole online forum thing. My favorite clients, I like answering it going, my favorite clients. My favorite clients are the ones that come to me stuck on whatever it is. I'm stuck. I'm not making the sales. I'm stuck. I have an idea. I don't know what to do next. I'm stuck. I want to sell this business. I'm stuck in that I don't like anything and I want to change my whole industry. The folks that are driven or motivated for change, like they know there's some action that they need to take, but they're not sure which. I love working with those folks to get a sense of what their actual targets are, help them figure out what their goals are, and then draw a map. What do I mean by that? It's weird. People come to me with all kinds of weird projects, right? It's like, oh, I'm a business strategist. That would be an easy job, I think, right? So I'm getting entrepreneurs that are multimillionaires that go, we should probably make an online office or something. Right. Okay. Oh, we should probably have branded email. Okay. So I'm going to help you go here. We need to build your internal office. Here's a team for that. We need to build a website. Here's a team for that. Folks that are overwhelmed and lost online or lost in their business seem to find me.
It's kind of ironic, right? Because they shouldn't find you.
Right. Because if I'm a ninja, now that leads into, I think this whole social media thing is great, not because I can subscribe to all y'all's boring lives. I just unfollow all that, but because it gives you such it's access to such a river of information. I have no blog, no course, no formal speaking packet, da 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 da. You can go find me on LinkedIn and Facebook, and there are like 5 groups that I participate in on Facebook. That's it. I haven't sent a newsletter in a year and a half, my friends, and I have been booked out for the last 3 months emceeing, business strategy, virtual event production. So even if I'm actually trying to hide or avoid being seen, you can't. And that's the punchline for being online and this whole internet thing. You can't hide. People will find you. If you participate in life at all, people will find you. But on the other side of that, that's the good news. You don't have to participate a lot. I am not spending, thousands of dollars on Facebook ads and things like that. Can I elevate my business? Bring clarity to my message? Yeah, I'm going through a whole rebrand, and you guys will get to see some of that later. But the idea of going, you don't have to just be you. The thing that you provide, those that are searching will find you. They're not going to wait for a Facebook ad to serve it up. They're going to go, here's a great example. I appeared at an event for admins. It was like 300 admins. And what we did in that is we sent out a survey to the executive leadership team, and we said, hey, what does it mean to be an exceptional assistant at this company? Right. And the leadership team, they fill all their doodads out, where the client calls me and is going, hey, will you translate this for us? So take the results from the leadership survey and present them in an admin meeting so that we can make that real. Like, what do we do with this feedback? How do we translate it? So I say, okay, well, the executive says, we want you to anticipate needs. Okay, what they're really asking is to mind read. How do we do that? No, let's translate it. Here's what that means. And how do we do those things? So they said, great, we have this event. You're going to help us understand what our executive leadership team is saying and what they want from us. The event went so well with my little bubbly personality and all that jazz, because I'm not the typical assistant. A couple of the assistants in that meeting then went to a Facebook group unsolicitedly. I did not ask. 3 of them made their own posts about seeing me and how impactful it was and what a cool day and blah, 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 blah. It's not my group. It's an industry group, but there's like 12,000 members in there. And so all of a sudden my Facebook's blowing up with everybody liking, commenting. And I'm like, what? I didn't have anything scheduled today. What's going on? Over like 30 comments that just broke out. Oh, I haven't seen her yet. Oh, I want to see her next. Da, 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 da. Oh, I love Melissa. Da, 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 da. All that aside, again, I didn't advertise. I do speaking. I don't have a blog. I don't have a whatever. I just made that collaboration with that client and said, yeah, let's do this. And then we'll go on to the next project. With that, I had 4 people reach out to me that aren't even on the thread, right? We have to remember that people read our stuff without interacting with it. There's no way for us to know who's reading it. I had 4 people reach out to me from that thread saying, hey, I saw that you do looking for one for my admin team. Love to schedule a call. Derp, 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 right? And then there we go. So I did one event. It got posted to Facebook without me even saying anything. And from that, I booked 2 other events and 2 coaching clients. And I wasn't even in the thread, right? So it's a way of, collaborating, like the personality type of going, what are you looking for? And then know that every action is planting a seed. It's not just the thing that you're doing right now. Can I speak at this event? Can I physically? Yes, I can. What seed am I planting by doing so? That's where I think about before I say yes. And again, yeah, if you're not found, they will find you. They will find you.
What's sort of the coffee advice you give? People say, can I buy you a coffee? And what's the sort of the easy gives you kind of go, listen, if you just did these, you're going to be well up the road, right?
Yeah. Oh, I love those. So my top 5 for coffee chat would be managing your time or looking at your time with respect. I know that sounds really simplistic. Oh, I use a calendar. No, get real specific. For me, I cannot do 5 client calls in a day. My brain is toast. If you can't manage your time to fit your DNA, so to speak, everything's going to get harder. Everything's going to get harder. So first one is time, knowing, do you work better in the morning? Do you work better in the afternoon? Do you want all your calls in one day? For me, I need a work day. I have to have Wednesday work day. Otherwise I get nothing done. Second one would be trimming down your tools. That sort of piggybacks with know what your business, your essential business processes are. Right? Oh yeah, it's great to have a Calendly app and it schedules and does all that stuff. But if you are only booking 2 appointments a month, my friend, you do not need to piss with that, right? So looking at your systems and tools. The third one, knowing what's important to you, not what's important to your business or your customers. What is important to you? A lot of folks don't slow down to think about, well, it's important for me to stabilize my income. It's important for me to have a work-life balance, whatever that is. What's important to you may not be the same as what's important to your business. You may need both of them, right? But if you don't know what does the business need versus what do I need as a human being in that business? Those are 2 different things. So I have folks pick on that. Where am I at? Number 4 is start with one thing. Start with one thing. And the reason why I say that is I am the living, breathing nightmare of what happens when you don't finish one thing, right? I'm half-assed at a lot of stuff. I joke and say I am the expert at near possibles. I am so good at near possibles. I have been so close to the finish line on so many things. And then I joke and go, oh yeah, but I didn't try. So it's okay, right? I just sort of landed there. I'm super great with near possibles. Start with one thing. You don't have to be on every single social media channel. You don't have to have 5 services. If you only did one service and you nailed that to the nines, everyone's going to read, buy, click, go. Start with the one thing. And then the 5th one, patience, love, and grace. Know that everyone's on a journey and we're all in different stages. I spent my corporate career trying to keep up with the Joneses, right? I mean, that's part of what that corporate drive is. That's part of the hustle in the game. How much money can I make? What job title, da, 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 da. Or at least I did. I'm going to gamify everything, right? But this idea of going, look, where you're at is exactly where you need to be. And where you're going is exactly where you're going. The rate and speed that you get there is irrelevant unless it's part of your goal setting, right? Like I want X by 40, you've imposed that on yourself. But this idea of going, I'm looking at my peers in my industry and they are typically 10 to 15 years older than me because I'm kind of a career climber in that. And I'm feeling like a piece of crap because I don't own my house yet. I don't blah, but you know what I mean? Like, hey, wait, I'm in the journey where I'm at, not where they're at. And I don't have to race to get there. So if I'm a good management, know your processes and trim those down. Know what's important to you versus your business. Know what, have patience, love, and grace for your place in the journey. And it's okay to change your mind. It's okay to change your mind. The ex-corporate types, we're all pigeonholed into these roles and descriptions and things, and they don't like you changing your mind, right? I'm a BEA. Oh, well, now I'm a UX designer. You what? No, you're not. Like, they don't like change. But out here in the entrepreneur world or in the CEO of you world, you can totally change your mind. You can do everything and then go, this is crap, I don't want to do it. Change your mind. I give you permission.
Do you like change?
Trick question. Publicly? Sure, I'm great. I can adapt to change, right? In real life, no, I'm a control freak. I'm prepared for 9,000 situations that you haven't thought of. So it looks like I'm laid back. and I'm ready for anything. But as soon as you throw me something I'm not necessarily prepared for. Now, I took a conscious effort to learn that too. I want to learn how to anticipate surprises more. Well, what do you mean? No, you don't Google that. But like, side story, I'm an executive assistant working at an office. One of the employees comes up to me and says, Kyle's dead. One of those inappropriate comments. I went, well, he dies every episode. That's a South Park reference, right? No, she goes, no, the dog, service dog. So I had a 120-pound dog die in the office. What do you do with that? Right? So this idea of going, okay, I look like I'm agile and laid back and ready for anything. But the truth is I've got 5,000 volumes of knowledge and research. Like, I'm prepared for anything. So when I do run into something that really does surprise me, I do get that dull cow stare. Like, yeah, I'm great with change. No, I'm equipped for it. I'm prepared for change. I don't necessarily love it.
Do you trust yourself?
No, God, no. That's the worst person to trust, because that's the first person that's feeding you shit. In a lot of ways, like, we are the first person to shortchange ourselves, to undercut ourselves, to the things that we say to ourselves, we would never say to another human being in a lot of ways. So I have an interesting relationship with myself because I love her, but I don't trust her. Like, I could keep her in check, because if I just ran off that, there would be 100,000 miles of burned bridges. And the fires would have been my fault, right? Like, this idea of going, no, I can't. I can love and respect her, but that inner you is, yeah, it's that inner animal, right? People come to the petting zoo and they visit it, but you don't just like let it out in my world. I mean, look how much energy it is already. Could you imagine?
It's funny because you talk about, patience, love, and grace, and yet not trusting yourself, 5,000,
Burn bridges.
sort of.
Yeah, how does that all map together?
5,000 versions of.
Well, it maps together. So you reconcile that by going, like, I have patience and love for the journey that I'm on. Grace for what I've been through, right? So we've got this aggressive corporate, I joke and say this aggressive corporate career, survived an avalanche and doing some of those things, and had a pretty good background with party time and a few years, 10 years of being completely reckless with my waking life. And so how do you do both of those? I have patience, love, and grace for myself, but I don't always trust that she makes the best decisions. I can love and trust and have patience for someone without giving them the keys to my car. All right. You can be a passenger. And it's that I'm also a Libra. So it's that, we're always balancing. It's always scales. It's always this justice, reward kind of seeking thing. But yeah, no, I can love and trust myself. I can love and have patience for myself, but I also can't just blindly trust myself, because I got all these biases and emotional motives and like all of this other stuff. I can't act like just because I'm me, I'm somehow exempt from making mistakes, or that, oh, I'm me, of course I'm trustworthy. You might not be. Like, I made some decisions in my life that went, no, you don't trust yourself at all, do you?
You get yourself? Do you, well, I suppose I'm leading to in terms of the inner chatter, but, do you understand yourself, or is it like multiple dialogues, multiple areas?
I would say it's an ongoing learning experience, right? I feel in a lot of ways that I work to contain, or try to find the right balance between containing and sharing. And there are just more voices in here than anybody knows. Like, it's that hyper content consumer, right? Like, when you sit here and spend on an average of 4 to 6 hours a day, just leisurely reading, consuming hyper online thing. There is a lot of noise. There is a lot of perspective and chatter. And I think that's why my downtime is so critical, because it is a full blown Muppet circus in here. Like, and it's an inspiring one. It's exciting. I want to do lots of things. I want to help people do lots of things. Like, everybody has a great idea. Ooh, let's do that. Ooh, let's do that. Let's do that too. The opportunity cost for that is, though, yeah, I've got to be able to think about things. Like, I weigh stuff probably a lot more. I struggle with decision making in a lot of ways, because I just have so much information. There's just so many ways to do things that I'll get stuck. My own self, right? Cobbler has no shoes. I get stuck going, all paths are logical. Now what? Oh, I got to tap my feels. Well, that's uncomfortable. I don't like that, right? Like, I gravitate towards things that are logically easier to decide. Like, data helps me decide. But no, it's a lot of chatter. I mean, I live in the woods. I have to go live in the woods, write a manifesto.
That's interesting. I mean, you say, data sort of helps you decide. I mean, do you trust your gut? Do you go with that, or are you looking for logic, hard reason? I'm pointing at the reason why I made that decision. Where do you lie on the scale?
By default, I go to logic. And I say that I go to logic probably because of my corporate background, from being mostly dudes in tech and devs, right? Developers. They don't even have time for you to occur to them to ignore you. So always being this logic driven, if then, if this, if then. Now, I say that I spent 12 years in a relationship that thrived on that, and it made me inhumane. So I'm actually kind of learning the other side now. I spent almost 12 years making decisions solely on logic. That doesn't really do your spirit any favors, right? Like, if you completely ignore whatever you call it, your spirit, your soul, your personality, whatever that thing is, if you ignore that, there are unintentional consequences that are not included in the brochure. So I'm looking to actually start to listen to my gut, being able to hear it, acknowledge it, allow it patience, love, and grace to exist, right? And so recently, I would say I'm growing in that regard, because I had to part ways with a really expensive client. Everything in my gut was saying this is not the right fit. My logic brain is beating itself up, going, yeah, but if we do this, this, and this, we'll get it back on track. This, and this. All you need is this, this, and this. But the other side of the brain is going, yeah, but this isn't fun. Even if you can pull the miracle out of your ear that is getting this, this, and this done, it's not fun. It's not fun. Corporate doesn't care if it's fun. Get it done, right? Now in the entrepreneur world, I'm like, ooh, I get to actually visit my gut and listen to it. Says, first of all, I didn't know it said stuff. No idea, right? 15 years in corporate, I say whatever's on a paycheck. Let's go. And now I'm sitting here going, but then it's confusing too, because now you take that person again, where 12 years of almost no emotion or intuition or whatever that is. I'm an INTP. So turning all that off and just becoming like this logic robot. Well, now I got to work on not being a flaming girl. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do I not go, oh, I'm just making decisions on my gut now? Because now I just go, oh, that's what that feeling is. Okay, well, that's a yes and that's a no. All right, well, I feel like this, so that's a no. No. Hold on, lady. You can't throw the baby out with the bathwater. So I'm actually trying to find that blend between the two, because operating solely on logic turns out sucks. Makes you very lonely.
It's very dry, and it's kind of probably would work in the, well, I don't know. I'm sort of going to make a thing, say maybe in the gaming world it works, because you can see the health, you can see,
Yep.
Here's the coin you have, here's what it is, right? So you can make a logical decision. It's like, you're bad, you're good, let's go.
Yeah. Well, binary,
you
right?
apply,
Ones and zeros.
yeah. You take that into the real world, where people are just weird, different, special, whatever, and you kind of struggle with the same logic pattern.
Yes, and because then you're taking into experiences and perspectives, and that's something that I feel like you can only get that through experience, right? So I feel like I would game for the years that I did, and then like I'm wholly under-equipped, a human, right? Like I don't have the back, like I pre-apologize and say I am socially awkward. The first time you're going to meet me, I'll probably stare at you and ask weird questions, because I don't know, like, it's weird when you're so glued into, let's say, the computer and the digital world and stuff like that, I can read a digital room with my eyes closed, so to speak. You know, what kind of group is it? There are 6 different community models, right? What type is it? A sales pitch? Is it da, 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 da? But then you put me in a room of like going to a conference in real life, and I spoke, and then everyone wants to talk to me, and I literally stood there like a freak, like I'm on the spectrum, standing there going, I don't know what to do. Like, because there's no meters for that. I don't know how you feel. I can't read your body language to the level of detail that I'm used to reading people online. And people's body languages lie, right? I'm also really gullible in that regard. So that was some of the things I had to learn was I believe everything that you tell me because I don't have time to not. I don't have time. Now I'm old and bitter. Now I believe nothing, right? But at the beginning going, of course I'm going to believe you. I don't have time to not. I can't waste time questioning.
I just want to loop back on something. I mean, you talked about, you sort of, it's a decision process to contain versus share. I'm curious to know, I mean, do you know your full potential?
No. No. And the reason why I say that is because I've spent the last 2 years trying to build my business from the skills up. So I'm trying to take the things that I think I'm good at. Yeah. Yeah. Logic, right? Oh my God. I've wasted so much money on, not wasted, reframe. I've invested in my learning in business coaches. If she's listening, thank you for that. I'll tell you who she is. Invested in my learning. You know, I went messaging coach. I'm going to learn entrepreneur implementation. Like if you think about it, coming from corporate, I had no idea what to do in terms of making my, like this entrepreneur thing, right? Go to an interview. I've got to learn discovery and meet and greets and networking and scoping and like all of this stuff. So I was like, okay, let me learn the system or learn the model. I'm going to learn entrepreneurship. I'm going to learn it inside and out and the mindset and the finances and all of it. Then I'm going to get a messaging person. Hired somebody to work with. She has a PhD in strategic messaging. Word science me out, right? Let me barf everything at you and you literally word science it out. Blah, blah, brand strategist, web strategist, brand web. I've spent a lot of money. The reason why I am still with nothing after almost 2 years is because that logic piece. I'm trying to get a group of creatives, you know, if you think about it, I've got 5 people working on this project, a group of creatives to understand my skill set and then build that like Legos into a business or a brand. Hi, I'm Melissa. I'm not very logical. Like, you know what I mean? Sitting there going, so no, I really don't have a clue in that context of what I can do because I guess I'm still trying to figure out what that thing is or how to articulate it. I can't just like put on the internet. Hi, I talk a lot and no internet stuff. It'd be cool. Like, I wish I had a test. Logic. Here's the thing.
I generally, for most people, I kind of have a fairly simple litmus test. It's like, when you find your fire in your belly, they generally don't shut up.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It's kind of going, it's just kind of going, yeah, you just kind of went on a half-hour rant. I'm pretty sure your fire in your belly, your passion's in there somewhere. And okay, let's monetize that. Let's give away all the stuff that you're never going to do. And let you just go on your rant all day long because that's where your heart lives. Cool. Sorted. Next.
No, I like that. See, and that builds it, boils it down really simply. Yeah, what is that passion? What is that thing that makes you want to get up in the morning? I joke and say I just want a pile of money with nobody know about it. Like ultimately, I want to be that person that has like, I don't want to say no financial worries, but like I don't have to balance my checkbook, right? Like something is so, people go, I want more freedom. I want enough money. I don't have to log in, whatever that is, right? It might be $40,000 a year. I don't know. I know it's not, but like whatever it is that I don't have to necessarily worry about it. So how and where do I take my skills to do that? I was like, I want a pile of money. I want to drive a piece of crap car. I don't want anybody to know anything, like I'm an eccentric in waiting. I don't know what the potential is. And I hope I find out, but keep it super quiet. Like, I don't know if that makes sense. Like, I have no ambitions to be like, ooh, I want to be the Mel Robbins of industry. No, I want to help people and make a bunch of money and hide. No, I want, courses, books. I don't know.
Why do you not want to be seen?
Because I control the conversations that I'm in when I sign up for them in that regard. I feel like I put myself into audiences that I'm confident in or that I'm comfortable in. Because like right now, I have a pretty good sense of what people think or see me online because I manage my content. There is none. So saying that I want to do something or say like, I want to be a speaker, right? That seems weird to me to go, but why? Or like, I don't know if I'm asking myself the right question. It's that logic part. I should assemble the skills that I have to make the most money for the biggest margin, not, hey, what do you actually want to do? And then monetize that. What are you excited about? And I need to flip the script, right? Ask it from the top down.
Sure. I mean, that's the thing, because it's interesting. You pre-phrase, with the sort of executive assistant world, you maybe don't have the piece of paper, but also they are also more competent, capable, and motivated than theoretically the people with the piece of paper, right? So why do you need everything else? You didn't need it in the first place, so why do you need it now?
Right? Because with age comes, we have more doubt in some ways when we get older, because we've seen, like when I'm younger, I fear humiliation, let's say, right? Well, thank God there was no social media when I was younger, but fear humiliation, right? I'm the redheaded step kid. That's literally my whole life. If you're going to see the video, I'm a redhead. Went to 6 different schools growing up. So I'm always seen. So I start there going, I'm always seen whether I want to be or not, right? I have been to many. So I also am a metal fan. Rock and roll. There's oftentimes you can see me in the crowd from a mile away because I'm one of the few redheads that are there. So part of me, I think, wants to not be seen because I feel like I've been seen for the wrong things, right? Just like, oh, you're the new kid at school that's on food stamps with red hair. Like I don't want to be seen anymore. Or admitting I do want to be seen, but for what? Because I do like that.
What would you like to be seen for?
I would like to be seen for for helping folks get unstuck in whatever their limiting belief is. Now I know that sounds like buzzwords right now. Like I kind of rolled my eyes because everyone's doing the find your why and your limiting beliefs and blah blah blah, right? We all got problems in life. We got to move them to go forward. It might be money, it might be personality, it might be relationship, whatever it is, whatever the thing is. The idea of what makes you want to get up in the morning and help people, like how you want them to see you. What do I want to be known for? The person that is always approachable, that is absolutely authentically committed to success, even if I have to get out of the way, right? Absolutely personally committed to your success, even if I have to leave the role to do it, right? I got to get out of the way. I'd like to be seen as a person or a resource that can help navigate the overwhelm of all of it. Just overwhelm. Do I start a business? Do I not? Where do I take it? How do I navigate my career? Like all of these self-talk questions that we've kind of touched on. I know that there are thousands of people that are sitting there asking that same question, not knowing even where to turn or who to ask. Nobody gave me a blueprint for my career. Nobody said, here's how you do this. Here's how you do that. I never sat here and went, oh, I want to start a business one day. No, I got kicked out of corporate. I joke. It's like layoffs, dismissals, orgs, firing. I got tired of my bank account being dependent on somebody else's decision. So I went, even down to this business, there's so much overwhelm and isolation going on. I'd love to be known for someone who can be authentically approach me authentically. Dude, we'll move mountains. We'll figure it out. I don't know if that answers it. I ramble. I get excited. I'm like, ooh, you can tell when I'm noodling a new idea. because it's audible. Like, oh, I hadn't thought about that. Let me just kind of preamble around it. Oh, wait, there we go.
That's cool. There's a little bit of disassociation there, as in that's what the clients want, but I'll let you away with it. It's
Yeah.
it's like, what do you want? It's like, yeah, this is what my clients can have. Okay, I'll let you away with it.
Yeah. What I found in the last 2 years, especially with like the COVID stuff, and so I've got this background in virtual event production, in the corporate world, all the town halls, right? You take the gaming and the raids and the coordination, the scheduling, and I implemented Ventrilo servers with my gaming. So we had audio among players before it was integrated audio with gaming. That's how tough I was. If you go play games with me, you're going to talk to me. I'm going to have you in my ear. Well, we go through all of this. Then the last, like, I got to be an EA speaker coach because that's what the people in my profession do. You go EA for your career, then you'll probably get a chief of staff job, and you do that, and you either keep doing that or you turn into an EA speaker coach. And I thought, well, that makes me want to puke. That sounds horrible. And well, why does that sound horrible? Had a real meeting with myself and went, it sounds horrible because everyone with that title sucks. Right. So I looked at it going, ew, no, I don't want to do that because of the stuff that's out there. I'm like, it's pretty vapid. It's not a speaker circuit I want to be on, but it's the admins that I know, etc. And folks are like, yeah, but what about all the people that don't like them either? Can you not be an option? Do I want to be a speaker? Maybe. It's a lot easier than putting together functional work design reports. I can just blather about things I know. Sweet. But you're totally right, because I ask what the clients need, not necessarily what I want to do, because I'm adaptable. I'm awesome. I can do 1,000 different things.
I mean, who says the two worlds can't meet? I've just written down there, corporate gamer.
Oh, nice.
It's why not? Instead of sort of trying to, by your own words, containing and sharing, deciding what's held back, your own potential, what you do, deciding what you share, and you kind of go, corporate gamer, that's who I am. This is your structure.
Yeah.
Doesn't really work in my world. This is the new structure. This is the way I present. This is the way I do it, and this is why we do it. Cool.
I love that. See, and then the path of logic, I can go do. Yep, makes sense.
Yeah.
One of my business coaches, one of them, my first one, she was great. She's like, I get you. If Melissa doesn't understand where the steps lead, she will not walk with you. Right? Because she'll go, nah, I don't understand. Right? Literally a year and 2 days after she said it, she'd sent me a Facebook Messenger. I took a picture of it and sent it back to her, screenshot, and it said, you should be on stage speaking. Stop wasting your time with this. That was a year and a half ago. So I sent her the email and I said, hey, remember when you said I should be a speaker? Irony's not lost on me. I signed up for a speaker class, like, you know what I mean? Going, no, it's not what I want to do. But I think by what you're saying, yeah, no, I didn't want to be a leader. Turns out I sort of am, or bossy or whatever. I wasn't necessarily looking to be an entrepreneur. Turns out I sort of am, and I'm pretty good at it. Hyper connector. Hey, great. I can refer you to all these people. That was all out of self-preservation. I wanted answers and needed help. Like, I'm just hungry, born in the ear of the monkey. And then where does it go from here? Like, the potential, I have no idea, but man, I'm excited. Like, I've seen where I've come from with almost not structure, but without a galvanized plan. I just knew I wanted the EA title, C-suite, money. Okay, great. I got all that. Now what? Now I have to decide again, right? Like, I'm in a self-planning kind of a revamp. I know that it's not doing the work. Like, you know what I mean? I've outgrown the EA role. I've outgrown wanting to manage your calendar. And I say that, and this is going to be replayed somewhere going, no wonder my calendar sucks. You don't want to do it.
That's true. I mean, you've got perfect opportunity, right, for midlife opportunity. It's kind of going, okay, unemployable at this stage, too smart to manage the calendar, too busy holding back what I'm actually capable of, skirting around the issue, love my gaming, love the corporate. So let's just smash it all together, because frankly, we're 40, all bets are off. Hey, listen, blank sheet, let's go. I don't care. Let's go to the shop in our slippers. Who's going to stop? Who's going to stop me, right?
That is that. You're right. So that perspective just said like 40s, you get permission, right, to change your mind. I said that in a business, but that's really kind of true. Like I just had like an aha moment myself going, yeah, we have permission to go, F this, man. You do that when you're 22.
Yeah.
And they don't want to work anymore. Excuse me, what? But yeah, no, I think I've earned those stripes. I deserve to not have to do that traditional, dollars for hours model. That's really ultimately where I want to go. Like I'm done with this dollars for hours.
It is. It's kind of like effort for reward, which is what we talked about, or effort versus reward, and that's where it doesn't have to be, right? It's just reward for reward. That was it. This is what I love to do, and you're going to reward me handsomely for it because I'm going to bring high energy. I'm in alignment. I am who I am, and by God, I'm good at it. So, yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Cool.
Quite like when we talk about like the sales and the confidence and all that other stuff, people are asking me like, oh, well, would you qualify yourself as a confident person? Maybe not, like in terms of what people think confidence is. Do I wake up every day going, you're special, you run the world? No, I don't, right? Am I equipped, capable, and experienced? Yeah, I for sure am. I'm equipped, I'm capable, and I'm experienced. I don't sit here and go, I am the captain and queen of my world, right? Folks are like, how do you maintain this energy every day? I don't, and that's okay, right? I don't always love the work I do. Most times I don't like my work. I'm my own worst critic. I can barely talk to myself on some days, right? Like, are you kidding me with this? Because like you marry that corporate, unapologetic, and folks are like, oh, but that's so mean being, that's so aggressive. A lot of us EAs, we know what we're getting into though. They are paying us for our soul and we are signing up to give it. Yes, pay me, pay me. So this idea of going, wait a minute, I don't actually have to do stuff that makes me feel bad in my gut, or I can change my mind. That's kind of like an aha moment that I feel a little relief from, going, oh yeah, I do get to change my mind. I do get to sit and be present and call myself whatever I want.
Sure. Midlife opportunity.
Right.
Like I say, all bets are off.
Are off.
Do whatever the hell you want.
I like this. And learning this online world in a commercial sense. So that was another point that someone had. Do all this online stuff because you're a gamer. Okay, but commerce is a different ball of wax. Running a business is a different ball of wax. It's not, it's like comparing your knitting circle to the NASDAQ, man. Like it's completely different. And so for me, they're like, well, what have you been doing the last couple of years? Learning online business, like specifically, like coming out of the consumer seat and going, how are folks using the internet as an online tool in their business? Are they making it their product? Do they look at that as that's their business? Are they, the idea of taking that, okay, I'm familiar with gaming. So gaming provides you culture, forum culture, right? I know how to navigate groups. I know how to read the room. Like that, gaming provides you digital, like social contracts and culture that way. It doesn't teach you commerce. My commerce from business, my business structure fed into the gaming.
That's no different to what an accountant's for. You get an accountant because they know numbers.
Yeah.
You get a coach because they know that. You employ a consultant because they know that. You're kind of going, frankly, it's the time, cost, energy, reward. It's not worth it. So
Yep.
you just go do it for me and I'll quite happily get on with my stuff and you do your stuff. And hey, here we go.
Yeah. Collaboration at its finest, because some of it's money and some of it isn't. I mean, I'm having a blast. I mean, of course I am, because I talk a lot and I talk about me, but I'm having a blast here today. Like folks, well, my network's gonna be really surprised that I did it, right? Like, because I don't want to be seen in that regard. Like I'm very I'm not trying to be a personality. I guess personality. I just want to bring this really awesome information to people that I think need it. So it'll be great. Everything is great until it's not, right? And then we pivot and then we go do other things, because we can check off all these lists. Okay, I'm self-actualized. I got my financial plan. I got my 3 products. I got my niche market. Like you can have the checklist of business made beautifully or whatever the hell that is, and not sell a single thing. at the end of the day, you have to make coin. Like you have to get up every day and figure out how you're going to make coin, whether it's a job, whether it's a hustle, whether you're a stay-home spouse, that your job is to take care of the house. Like the idea of having a partner or having a person, someone like me, that you can go, look, I'm stuck in a real, I don't even know where to Google. I don't even know where to start. I think that's where I'm feeling my pull, is to get into kind of some of those messy things and go, oh yeah, let's throw this one out, bring this one in, and then we'll go. I want to be like, what is it? The Muppets. Like I want to be the Swedish chef of your business.
Go around
Throw
thumping
rubber
stuff.
chicken in.
What was important to 30-year-old Melissa, and what's important to 40-year-old Melissa? What's changed?
Ooh, that's a good one, because I have a lot of memories of my 30s saying every year is better than the last. I'm having a blast. 30s was my party time. Like 20s were my party time. I was in Belfast then. Different kind of party time, right? So when you're in your 20s in this personality type, 20s, you are a broke partier. Right? You are that kid that's either, I was in college, I dropped out, but it was in college, you broke partier, but you happy. Right. And it seems like then in the 30s, we got professional about partying. Now we got money and time. Right. So I spent my 30s doing everything, like whatever it was. I was mother of 2 Great Danes. I want a dog. I'm going to get a 180-pound dog. Oh, I'm going to get 2 of them. Right. I'm going to have a 4-bedroom house. I'm going to have this great career. I used to throw these poker tournaments. So these and costume parties, and we're talking like $2 to $3 grand. Like I decorated the whole house. We made it. My place was Pee-wee's Playhouse for grownups. So it was all great and sparkly and whatever. Well, then late 30s, economic downturn, blah, 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 whatever. Lost my job, both of my Great Danes, and a relationship all in the same year. Well, now all of a sudden, now I'm in my 40s. Now it's less partying and more intention. Right. I still play video games and I sleep, and I don't have kids. I'm a horrible adult in that regard, but I'm more strategic about things now. Like I'm looking at where things fit into the big picture. Whereas I feel like my 30s was all consumption, buy, earn, drink, sell, buy, earn, drink. It was all consumption. And now I feel like I'm going, okay, let's look at our life inventory and go, here's how much time you have left. How do you want to spend it? I feel less panicked now. I've more uncertainty and less panic now.
Who do you look for inspiration or for guidance, or is there anyone?
Yes, I'm like everyone. I say everyone because I read a lot. My go-tos, like when I read a lot. So when I need to read and have a good brain massage, I'm a big fan of Seth Godin. I'm a big fan of Gary Vaynerchuk, and I'm a big fan of Mel Robbins. Those are kind of my go-tos in a few different ways. Like Mel Robbins, stuff as simple as seeing the fact that she works out every morning, and that's when she works out. I'm like doing that, but I can appreciate seeing inside the world of someone I see as a professional, sharing it in a non-celebrity sort of way. I love like the motivation and inspiration and stuff. She gives me a great power of forgiveness. I think her brand is like, look, you have permission to be and do you, and that's okay. I'm a big fan of Gary Vee because I think he's one of the people that might have as much energy as I do. Might give me a run for my money. Like I feel like he's me, or I feel, just that I'm just at capacity with excitement all the time. I listen to lectures for fun. Like I'm working on a 27 lecture series on the art of argumentation, right? Like the art of why? I don't know, because that's what I do. The idea of folks that are inspiring, motivating, and go, look, you can do whatever it is. You just got to suck it. Like stop making excuses, go forward, make your plan, go forward. Those are usually what I listen to. If I'm in a rut, if I'm stuck myself and I need to, like, let's say mindset, I need to get out of my feels and my emotions, RuPaul, all the way. I will binge on RuPaul's Drag Race for 3 days. Leave me alone. I will come out feeling fabulous, right? Because if you can't love yourself, how you gonna love anybody else? Like, I cannot stress the importance of RuPaul in my life. Way better than Valium. Way better, right? Just this idea of finding peace and acceptance, and like, and then looking at RuPaul's Drag Race going, there is nothing in my life I'm that dedicated to. That's awesome. Like, to witness the commitment, the energy. Like, I don't do anything with that amount of commitment. The adversities that they face and things like that, I'm like, I'm pretty boring in that regard. I'm not trying to be a sword swallower. So that gets me out of my feels. I love RuPaul.
You're not like a professional sort of option solver, option investigator. Is that like, I mean, that
Ooh,
takes far more energy than all that doing a physical activity. It's like you're trying to go and you could present me with something and I need to have 5,000 things on tap, prepped, ready.
yeah.
And do it with a
Yeah.
smile.
Yeah. And almost to have like a neurotic excitement towards it. Oh yeah, what else you need? Oh yeah, what else? Oh yeah, I got that. So somebody asked me, they go, in your business, what's your sales model? Like, what kind of sales do you do? Or what's, how do you sell stuff? I said, I have a drug dealer sales model. Tell you everything I got. You tell me how much money you got, right? Like, here's everything I can do, right? Only you can tell me where that fits in your business. Only you can decide what that's worth. I can't. I can tell you, here's everything I do, right? Think of the drug dealer. He ain't trying to sell you into anything. He's going, here's everything I got. You come to me with the money you got. So in terms of like selling myself or businesses or this business strategy stuff, I think we spend a lot of time in like, pricing and models and structures. At the end of the day, it's up to the client. If you go, oh my God, I love 9 things, but I only have $500 a month, then it's on me to go, okay, here's what you get for $500, rather than me trying to like upsell them or push them into something they don't need or what have you. Taking that drug dealer sales, going, I got this weird set of skills, pick from it, and then we'll price it out like a choose your own adventure.
That's quite a prescriptive model. I mean, that's exchange of money for talent, right? So it's not, but if you exchange money for experience, you kind of go, the effort, the time, the knowledge is none of your business. You're here for the experience. You're here for the good time. You're here for whatever, right?
Yeah.
Take it
And particularly in entrepreneur, because nobody's asking me for my resume. Nobody's asking me for referrals, right? Like, you have these discovery calls or you have these chats where I'm going to go speak at this event or that. I haven't been asked, how many events have you spoke at? Do you have a PR reel? Now, if I'm a good citizen, I need to get those things so that I can, again, that near possibles, I'm really good at getting real near possible, right? But then my fear will kick in, or a part of it will go, ooh, but don't get too close. Like, don't pull that trigger. Don't actually put out a PR kit and claim you can speak, right? Just get that near possible. Well, you go around through all that and folks are like, don't care. They find me anyways, right? They're going to go, I get that you don't have a PR kit, Melissa, but I need you to speak, right? And so we're having these folks not check your formal, oh, do you have a PR kit? Oh, have you speaking background? Do you have referrals? Like all these speaker programs I'm in, I'm that person where I'm sitting here going, I'm doing none of that. And I'm booked 3 weeks out. I don't know, maybe I'm the counterculture kid. That's too many. But like, oh, great. Here's what you need for all your speaking engagements. And here's how you get... My friend, I'm on fire in the belly because somebody I know was like, girl, you have got to get on this, right? It wasn't because I had a PR kit. It wasn't because, Mighty Pete met me at a networking event and we just hit it off in this magical moment of collaboration. Like, it's not that. You can have all these things. I'm going to be a PR. I'm going to have a PR kit and whatever, and have none of it and still be successful if that's the thing you want to do. It's like, okay, yeah, I want to speak. Great. Then just tell the universe you want to speak. You don't have to figure it all out.
But you can help yourself too, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes, you can help yourself by being active in your journey. And so when I talk about, I have what's called the Savvy Hustlers client journey coming out in November. So when you talk about your journey, it is that it's always a journey. It is always, I'm in point A going to point B. And once you get to point B, you don't stop. So the only way that you can stay on this journey, like if it's a motorway or like the Jetsons moving sidewalk, the only way you can stay, it's not just stand there on this moving sidewalk. Like you have to be present. You have to interact. You have to get up and go, I have a goal in my life, and that's to not be broke by the time I retire. Okay, well, what am I going to be doing to get that? I am not sitting here going, I wish they would have better job descriptions in my industry. I wish my industry paid better. Like, there's no time for this, people. We're dying every day. Like, there's no time to wait for anybody to give you anything. We've got to figure it out. And the only way we can figure and get those things is with, like I said, the collaboration. We got to make partnerships and I talk a lot and I'm approachable because that's really all I have to offer. In order for us to like jam, you got to have a good time talking to me. If you don't have a good time talking to me, what am I going to do? Knit you a quilt? You don't knit a quilt. I don't even know if you do knit a quilt, but like figure out how you want to make money and what you're good at, and then do the crap out of it. Like try and get as great as you can. One person I talked to, they're like, oh, you want to be a speaker? Here's a great piece of advice. Not here's your PR kit, blah, blah, blah. She goes, take an improv class. Take an improv class. Then no matter what happens, speeches go sideways, presenting goes sideways, events. I would have never thought of that, right? I'm not sitting here going, how do I prepare to be a speaker? But then having her say that, going, ooh, taking an improv class, even if I don't want to be a presenter, is a good idea because I know I'm going to have presentations in my life, even if my presentation is my performance review. I can make stuff really complicated. I can make complicated things really simple, and I can make really simple things complicated. Can we monetize that? I'm an obfuscation expert.
It's kind of like going out drinking the night before an exam. It's like, yeah, I could have passed that exam if I hadn't been totally wasted. Okay. Could you?
Maybe. I don't know. That's that near possibilities, right? I'm an expert at getting nearly there.
What if?
What if? Like, oh my gosh, what if it works? There. Most folks are worried about if it fails. For me, I can deal with failure. I can operationalize failure like that. Why? Because I've done like just light speed. As soon as you start failing and become comfortable with failing, I don't mean accepting of failing. I mean comfortable with it. I never accept failure. It means I got to try again. Got to try again. Got to do it again. Got to do it a different way. Try again. But if you can mentally reconcile failure, that's way easier for me to deal with. Let me think about all the ways it's going to fail. But what if it works? Oh, well, then M's lost, right? No, I don't know what to do with success. I hope I never find it. No, I'm kidding. But that idea of going, you're successful. What happens? You produce this course and you launch and it makes $250,000 in sales. My brain goes, I have no idea. I better not launch the course until I have a tax advisor and financial advisor. And so I'll stop all things and go, $250,000. I better not try. Not logical.
Do you have a reason for being successful?
A reason for being successful. If success is defined as life contentment and financial responsibility, then yeah.
Is it defined by that?
I think the world, or this is the people in the world that I'm in, I think they believe success is that it's being financially responsible or being like a good citizen. I'm not great at that. I'm not great at being a good citizen. I am great at the rolling the sleeves up, pushing through hard stuff, having hard thinks, having hard chats, having hard decisions you have to make. I'm not really great at like, oh, I'm happy or I'm content, because in some level to me, that's a little bit of losing. If you're content, what are you pushing for? What are you getting up for? I'm like, nobody sets a piece of cake on the counter just to look at it. Oh, that's a nice piece of cake. No, I want to eat it and then I want to get more, right? Like I don't know how to just look at the cake and go, I'm happy.
It's funny, right? What are you most proud of?
I'm most proud of getting out of the Midwest. I mean, I say that, but like I was the first grandkid to graduate high school. So the idea of leaving the Midwest in the US, like I was the first grandkid to get into college. I'm most proud of still standing. Still standing. Avalanche, party cycles, bad business deals. I've lost a lot of money. That's not my first business. I am most proud that I get up and I'm still standing. And sometimes that's the only achievement you have. I'm still standing.
Talk to us about the avalanche.
Avalanche context. So I was a backcountry years. Backcountry hiking means grabbing your backpack, going out 10, 12 miles, you know, eating, living, sleeping out in the backcountry. There's no campsites. There's no porta potties. There's nothing. Super fun. Didn't know I liked it. One of my friends told me, oh, you love taking miserable vacations, because I'd come back from these hikes that were just, you know, 15 miles and 32 degrees and, you know, just awfulness. And I'm like, this was so great, right? City person trying to go get it. So it's December, it's 2013. And I hike with, I say, a relatively experienced set of friends. Like this is all what we did. And one of our buddies is a ranger, or former ranger for a national park. I live not far, or at the time, not far from Mount Rainier. So to give you a sense of scale, right? So we're up on one of the glaciers in Mount Rainier, and it's not where crampons and ice picks like that. It just happens to be one of the trails that are up there. Anyways, so we're planning to go hike an ice waterfall. Because why not? We're not just going to go for a winter hike. We're going to go hike a waterfall. So you do all the research, right? What's the air temperature? How much is the sun out? Blah, blah, blah. Because you don't want ice to melt, right? It was 18 degrees. We knew it was going to be a cool day. We knew the time we wanted to get up there by. We knew the time we wanted to get back by. Like you plan all these things out. So we're hiking away, and we're getting near the base of the waterfall. When it's not frozen, the waterfall comes down and it's like a big splash stream, right? So you could technically walk across that. It gets kind of deep when it's not frozen. Well, when it's frozen, I got to tell you, it looks like a sea of ice penises. Like it's just like it's all frozen and like all of these things. So we're like, well, should we climb it? Well, yeah. I mean, it looks cool. You're looking at like you're in another planet. So we crawl across what's called that splash shield, that like frozen splash shield, and then we're going up. We're not even to the waterfall yet, and the waterfall is completely frozen. It's about 500 feet tall from the top to the bottom. I know, for those of you that can't see, Mighty Pete just shook his head like, I don't know why you're out here doing this. I don't know why you do this stuff. Maybe. So we're like, oh, this is going to be so cool. So it was the three of us, because they just have longer legs. And there's a little cave at the base of the waterfall. So we're going to cross the splash area, the frozen splash area, and we're going to get up into this cave. We're not actually going to climb the waterfall. Totally cool. They're up in the cave at this point. Time dilation is a thing, by the way. You know that thing where you like see every moment happen, right? I can remember every single moment. So they're up in the cave. I stopped to take a picture of the waterfall. They're actually videoing me taking a picture. My then spouse is like, you need to keep moving, right? Because you're not supposed to stay in the splash area. You need to keep moving. Yeah, I got it. And I go and I put my phone away, take a picture, and I've got hiking sticks on. So I go to grab my sticks to keep going. I turn and look at him up at the in the cave, and I look at the waterfall, and then I look back at him and I hear a crack, just like a gigantic crack. And right, like a huge crack. And then I feel this rumble. And so what happened was, there's an upper shear. I didn't know this at the time, but the upper shear of the waterfall that was frozen came dislodged. So the sun had kind of beat on it long enough that the weight kind of pulled it down. The waterfall wasn't thawed, but an upper shear, about 500 feet up. So it came dislodged and started running down, right? So I laugh because I know what Wile E. Coyote feels like. Yikes. Like that. So I turn and look. If I could paint, ladies and gentlemen, I know what an oncoming avalanche looks like. It's beautiful and horrible at the same time. So I look at this thing. I do my Wile E. Coyote. Yikes. I get a moment to look back into the cave because at that moment, it's game over. Like I know in my soul, it's game over. Like that's why I looked at the cave and saw my friends, right? I was like, this is game over. What do you mean game over, right? And so I can't hear anything. They're slamming their hands like, get down, get down, get down, right? So I was like, ooh, snap me out of frenzy. Right, okay, get down. So I go, I scramble, I start running, I try to get down, I stumble, blah, blah, blah. I get into this little pocket and I remember looking down going, okay, I have to cover my head, my neck. Like when you're in an avalanche or tornado or something, right? You want to cover your neck. So I've got my arms up here trying to cover my neck and my head. And I got everything tucked in except for one leg. And then the ice fell like boulders. So we're talking an icefall avalanche. So we're talking boulders of ice, anywhere from 10 to 80 pounds, right? Just completely rolled over. It wasn't a suffocation risk because it was ice. However, I was pretty banged up, right? Like taking all of that. I remember looking down going, oh, I need to move my head because if I get hit, there's ice right here. And I don't want to get my eyes hurt, right? All of that. However, so the guy said that took about 45 to 90 seconds because there were a couple quakes. My one friend that was the range supposed to do is like, keep your eyes on the person wherever they're at. Like, thank God none of them ran out. So they waited for the first pass to go. All I kind of hear is just my name, Missy, 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 Missy. Like everything's dark. My right leg, we think at the time was probably dislocated. I wasn't moving a lot, but I was awake. Like I was there. My then spouse is 6'4". So he pretty much just like grabbed me by the scruff of the neck and flung me into the cave. Like I felt like I was just kind of like one of those toy claws. Like I was just pulled out and flung into the cave. And so then we get to the cave. And then a second shear falls. Well, now you're dealing with PTSD and a person like they have video. So the best part about this is they have video interviewing me after they pulled me out. And I don't remember a whole lot. But when the camera pans to me, back to that personality style, all you hear me go is, it sounds like you think an avalanche would sound. What a stupid question. So they must have been like, how did it sound? How are you feeling? But in the video, I'm just very much, it sounds like you think an avalanche would sound. What a stupid question. Like, so we were able to, whatever happened, pop my leg back in. We were able to I slid the rest of the way down through the splash area once we decided to leave because I still had to get back to the car, y'all. Like I still had to, figure out what's going on, not realizing that I'm functioning in full-blown shock. I'm completely out of my mind. I'm terrified of everything falling on me. And I don't know that that's what I'm afraid of, right? And so for a few months, so that happened. That'll mess with you. So that ended my backcountry career in large measure. Now everything was different. Now the thing that my spouse and I were galvanized around didn't happen anymore, right? Now I've got to get a job and health insurance because I didn't have that at the time. I had never had a near-death experience like that. I know a lot of people have had those, or they're different for everybody. It's amazing. Like within 3 weeks, I went back. So 3 weeks later, I went back and did the hike again. I didn't go up the waterfall, but not because I was like, oh my God, I got to see it, but because I was worried that if I didn't, it would have a bigger impact than I felt it deserved. Even though I didn't take up backcountry hiking in the same way. And I'm super, super, super grateful that I made it out of there. There's a lot of shit tied with that I didn't expect, right? Like those days when you're having a super rough day and you're like, your brain tells you, man, why did I survive that? Right? Like you may not necessarily think that way, but you're like, oh, it would have been easier. Why didn't a boulder just take me out or something like that? Like I say that with humor, but it is weird. So I think when that happened, my life shifted into, it is about freaking forward now. I think I stopped having fun after the avalanche. Like I joke and said, that's when life became serious, because I was like, holy crap, I can't, no time to wait.
You mentioned there that the number of things happened that all in that sort of, were they all linked together in hindsight?
The life, yeah, the like life transactions. Yeah. So the end, so with 2013, getting hurt then, doing the backcountry thing, having that, then like, what do you know, that was a real piece of identity for me, being a backcountry hiker. That's what I did. Or maybe not recognizing that I had the fear yet, but just kind of like the aftermath going, that's not what I do anymore. Let me find other things to do. And I think that's totally true. And that's what happened. Like with my spouse, he started a band. Made sense. We weren't hiking every bloody weekend, or you know what I mean? And so then it set off, you know, just paths that then started to not be aligned with each other. Right. So then going through, you know, the therapy of crap of like, well, if I hadn't been in an avalanche, you wouldn't start a band. If you didn't start a band, you know, blah, 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 blah. It's all crap. But no, figuring out, like, having that be the first time I really found a physical limitation was humbling, right? You're not to say that I know I'm not going to win the amazing race, but like to run into something, because I'm not a boy that gets into punching contests and things like that. Like to see a physical something that I was like, whoa, that's outside. Ooh, that's outside of me. I don't think I had that level of respect for my hiking. And then the respect hit me in the face and I went, no, ma'am, I'm good. Right. Taking that and then going, all right, how do I pivot with this going forward? Who am I now? What do I do now? Where is this OCD energy going to go? Well, then that's when it went, oh, well, it's got to be income, because I am done with this. What do I want to do on the weekends? Doesn't matter. Am I going to be there for retirement? Right. Like I ended up getting this because I'm a female for the most part. No, I'm kidding. I am totally a female, but I chose not to have a family. So I have to get my life ready to be old by myself. Period. There's no Medicare. There's no Social Security. I don't have any cousins, nephews, nieces. There's nobody. My spouse is 10 years older. My spouse now, 10 years older than me. Nobody's going to be here for me when I need it. So I have to do it now. I have to build a business. I have to have income. The avalanche made me not fun anymore. I think that's what I feel like. It made me not fun.
What did you learn from it?
What did I learned that I want to be a lot more prepared for situations than I had been previously. Okay. I was not hiking with a helmet that day. Stupid little girl, right? All it would have taken is one boulder and I'd have been a vegetable that somebody else would have to take care of. So I think in that preparedness, right? And I can even give a literal translation of that. Earlier this year, so in my corporate career, I've been crisis response certified. I work in a lot of high-rise buildings and stuff like that. Admin trick, you want to be the person who knows everything, become a floor warden or safety contact, right? Because then we've got, you know, bombings, shootings, whatever. So I went through all the active shooter training and all of that stuff. I know that there's going to be wild shit that happens. So let's fast forward to January of this year. Pre-COVID, pre-Seattle riots and all that protesting stuff. In January, we had a shooting downtown. Actually, we had 2 shootings in one day. For those of you that may not know, Seattle is not East LA. Like, I love my city. We're not crazy. I know the news makes us look crazy. We're not crazy people. So having a shooting was a really big deal. Well, that shooting actually took place across from my building. So I was having lunch. I heard the second bullet go off. I immediately hopped up, put my building in lockdown, got all my people to safety, got people away from the windows, got everyone upstairs, led them through the back, right? Because there's active gunfire going on. I've got security bars. The office manager, he drops the security bars. We got to get everything. Things you don't think about. When an active shooting's going on and people are banging on your doors and your windows in your building, pleading to be let in because nobody knows where bullets are coming from. And I can't let them in because I have no idea. I can't open my doors to the outside chaos part of our response team. We have to keep our people inside safe. I don't know that you don't have a gun and you're not the one shooting, so I can't let you in, right? So even this January, second day on the job of what I was doing, second day, sitting, eating my lunch. By the second bullet, I knew it was gunfire, right? Having to go up, get it all done. Another evidence of the humor-based shock that I have. So I'm filling out a police report. Why it was scary, not scary, why it was alarming. I've done reporting on shootings before, but this one, we had all of Seattle PD in front of my building in moments. Like the complete like bicycle cops, like we had a bus fling out sideways and people are running out, like it was like CSI or something. It was nuts. So that there was police presence in conjunction to the bullets. There was a lot of police reports to do. So the police officers come in. It was 4 hours before we could even open our building, right? There's cops everywhere, all the state. And he goes, ma'am, how many bullets do you hear? There's only 9. I can't hear more than 9, right? Well, he didn't appreciate that. He's like, ma'am, some guns do hold more than 9. But just in my, like, what a ridiculous, again, with the shock and the logic, what a ridiculous question. A magazine only holds 9. Why are you asking me a stupid question like that? Then I leave this building. So we get off lockdown. I go to my roommates, which are another Amazon building a couple blocks away. This was really surreal. So when you're downtown Seattle, we joke and say they're all Amazon buildings, right? So we're down in Amazon Mecca. And all of a sudden I see people sucked into buildings, into the Amazon buildings, like a vacuum, like somebody has gone out and just sucked all the people into the buildings. I don't work at Amazon at this time, but my roommates do. So that's why I'm meeting them there. So I go inside the building and they're like, oh my God, there's a shooting. And I went, yeah, no, I already did that. That was 2 blocks over this way. I got you. We good. No, they fled and they're going now. So what had happened was Amazon had sent out an employee message, right? And everyone saw it on their phone and went, go inside, right? The air was so thick in this building, 3 dogs pooped on the floor. Right. So there's then another active shooting going on. And this is just in January, my friends. So I was like, we get through all of this, all of, whatever it was, a drug bust or a runaway, whatever. Right. That's January. Now we've got 2 months and the first breaks out in Seattle. We hadn't lost our minds. Right. We're going to go down on lockdown immediately. Like, what do you mean? So I head out to the woods where I'm at now, where I'm recording this, is heading out to the woods. But my roommates being back in Seattle, then just watching everything explode from there. Just watching what happened in Capitol Hill and kind of, my friends were trampled. My roommates were pepper sprayed. Like seeing videos of them screaming was not awesome. So I feel like since like the avalanche and a couple of other, like I'm equipped for tragedy and trauma. I'd like to not be, but personally struggling with, I don't have fun anymore, right? Like I'm a fun person to be around, but I am prepped and ready for tactical mode at all times. You can't relax like that. Like, well, not sober anyways. So there's that. So yeah, it's just been weird. It's like, oh yeah, there was this huge traumatic thing with the avalanche. Oh yeah, but there was also the shooting. And then there was also the riots. And then there was also the COVID. I went back to Seattle downtown in April and it broke. I mean, of course it did. It broke my heart because my downtown looks like an abandoned movie set. Everything's boarded up. There's only crackheads and me out there, right? This was a few months back. But just to sit here and go, I wasn't planning any of it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, how do you even navigate any of this? Nobody sat back and go, well, what would I do if there was a shooting? What would I do if my city is burning? What do I do? I go on podcasts and I build businesses. Like, so I just pour all the energy into stuff that's productive, that fruits. Well, fun doesn't fruit. So that's when this last month I took my whole first 10 days off in like a couple of years because I'm literally suffocating from lack of fun because I don't know how to slow down and let fun happen because there's no productive return on fun. I'm just serious now.
No, I mean, there's a lot there. I mean, thank you for sharing that, first of all.
We're not crazy in Seattle. I promise you. It's a wonderful wonder. We are very, like, Google or look up Wikipedia. There's something called Seattle Freeze. It's a real thing. But then also look up Iowa Nice. That's on Wikipedia too. So I'm literally the dichotomy of the two, right? Like, I'm the Iowa Nice, but don't talk to me. But if you do talk to me, I'm super nice. A friend of mine's cousin was Black female mother of 4 that was shot by police. So there was a big mural that was painted. I went down and got video of that and sent it to the family. Like, things you never knew that you would be encountering, or yeah, it's just surreal. Like, it's this cognitive dissonance with it being, it's not East LA, no offense to East LA. Folks can't believe it's happening, right? Like, it's an inappropriate joke, but I'm doing it anyways because I started. It's not Belfast, for crying out loud. You know what I mean? Not that Belfast would be like that, but when I was there, you have a level of awareness of certain things that could potentially happen. When you had like shootings in Seattle and protesting and riot, like, I didn't see that coming, my friends. I did not see the outpour of pain. And that's probably my own bias, just kind of because I'm not looking at the world in the same lens as, my diversified friends. But like, the world is hurting right now, and we can't help ourselves. So I think this period of time has allowed a lot of folks to become self-reflective and either find that fire in their belly they didn't know they had about whatever topic it is, politics, education, religion, whatever. This whole lockdown or this transition, like, welcome to my introverted life. You guys are all stuck with what's in your brain, just like I've been for the last, 25 years. I can't imagine what more validated not breeding in my whole life. Like, folks are like, do you regret you didn't have kids? Oh God, no. Like, thank you. I made the right decision for me. I just can't imagine what everybody's going through. And I just want folks to feel like it's crazy for everybody. Everybody's hurting on every side of every topic. I don't know what to do with that, but I recognize that everybody's hurting, lost, looking for answers, trying to find something to anchor to. And the joke's on us because I think the anchor is ourselves. And we don't like that as far as human beings, in my experience. I don't think we like having the keys to our own life, being accountable to our own success. I don't think having to do it, right? What do you mean I have to think about myself, my goals, my job? Can't you just pay me? No, that model's all gone. You can't ride the middle anymore. There's no middle lane.
You're 40. You've been given the keys to the vehicle, the life.
Right. And now I'm sitting here going, man, I wish I would have known more about tires. I wish I would have taken better care of the transmission. I wish that I didn't buy a Ferrari when I should have bought a minivan. No, just kidding. I want,
but that's wisdom, right?
Folks to yeah, like, what is it? The application of knowledge is where the real power is. Like, the acquisition of knowledge is nothing. Might be having some sound issues. Sorry.
So, what was 7-year-old Melissa like?
7-year-old Melissa was single mom with a younger brother. Just trying to get through the day. Get the kids to school, get myself to school. Growing up in Iowa in the Midwest, really super basic, super simple. I talked too much. I read too much. My family would give me books. In terms of like, oh, Melissa, go read, go read. You know, they almost weaponized my learning, right? Because then now I'm smarter. Oh, now we don't like smart people. Oh, well, that sucks. So I was like a smart kid that grew up in the Midwest. They not always loving smart people. Not really a person, like not really a social person. Like I didn't play sports. I didn't go to sleepovers. I didn't braid hair. That wasn't a thing I do.
And what were you going to do when you grew up? What was the overall plan before you
Before I
headed?
figured out the crushing weight of reality. I was going to be an archaeologist, I thought, because I wanted to play in the dirt without getting in trouble.
Like your
Right?
logic, that
Right?
makes
That's what I
sense.
was. Every time I got in trouble for being dirty, right? Because little girls are supposed to be in pink and pretty head to toe. And I was like, nope, I want to be Indiana Jones. Which I kind of am now, except for it's business. What's your problem? Where's the raider of the lost ark, the lost coin? We are raiders of the lost coin.
I can see a business program there. Perfect.
Right, right. Let me write that down.
What's sort of standing out for me? There's four key areas where the sort of the energy flow comes through when you're talking. And so what I'm sort of what I was getting was you talk about energy, talk about gaming, you get an energy flow. You talk about the sort of adventure side, the corporate, off grid type setup, and long hikes and crazy stuff. That gets an energy flow. Very different energy set, but it sort of does spark. And you get a lot of sort of early language. So it's kind of like that's who I am type thing. You get a drive on the corporate, the doing side. So it's very much this is easy. I can process. I can premeditate everything you're going to say. Yada yada yada. And then you get an energy set when you talk about speaking, mentoring, and leading. So it's like there's four energy fields that I'm sort of getting from you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think so. And I think they sound really unrelated. Maybe that's just me. Yeah. The gaming, interactive, collaborative, we're all in it, rah, team stuff, the corporate competitiveness of climb, do, summit, gain, right? Consume, gain. Making sure, because I think I might have lagged out a little bit, but and then the leadership part of it. Yeah, I get excited talking about things like all of these for me are getting rid of roadblocks. I don't care what it, like I joke and say I could boil everything down to 5 steps. I don't care what it is. They're not the same 5 steps, but we can boil all of this down. Getting people that don't report to you to invest energy towards your agenda. That's what all of that is. Getting people that don't report to you to invest their time and energy in your agenda. Oh, but having an agenda is bad. No, look, my agenda is to show up, do great at my job and get paid for it. That's my agenda, is do a good job, get paid for it, right? My agenda isn't, I'm going to accept a lower wage. I'm going to overperform the crap out of it and then get a promotion. Like that's not, and if that is your agenda, let's talk about, but everything we do is getting people who don't report to you to do stuff that benefits you. There's a Japanese proverb that I recite often that says, there is no selfless act, not even the oyster in his pearl. Dude made the thing because it irritated him, not because he needed you to have a pretty necklace. So we help people in charity. Yeah, but we still get something back. It allows us to sleep at night. It allows us to forgive our transgressors, like whatever it is, there's always something that's coming back to us. And if there isn't, then that's when it becomes unbalanced and people get, bitter and toxic and it bleeds into this. And now I need to sell my business because at the end of the day, it's really because nobody compliments me enough. That's why you need to sell your business. Like I draw all these connections, but we're all just like fire in the belly. You're just trying to get people to share their story, spend their time with you to share their story, right? Whether it's paid, not corporate hustle, we're all gaming. We're just trying to get people to come join our raid. Hey, I got this cool idea. I want to do this thing. You want to come with me?
Sounds good.
I have no idea where it's going to go, but it'll be fun and adventurous, and we'll get some good stories out of it.
It's all about, right?
Yeah, easy. Well, I mean, it's easier said than done, right? Because then now you're going to wake up tomorrow and go, okay, well, I've got 4 client meetings. I need to reposition this package. And then we get right back into the weeds. I think for me, one of my talents is helping folks kind of pull back up and keep an eye on that bigger picture. Or if you don't have one, it's not that you're mandated by it, but just kind of keep that up there so you know where you're going. Mine, I don't want to die broke, right? Like, morbid as that sounds, that's the pragmatic reality of the situation. These folks like me that make the decision not to have a family, there are consequences to that. That's what drives me. I have to take care of myself.
Okay. What's your guilty pleasure?
Aside from video games and forums, if I could be a forum troll, I totally would. I love forums. I am awful because I can go into every TMZ like forum under whatever alias I happen to have, and I can just read that stuff all day. I love it. I love it. I love when threads just go sideways. Like, I just sit there with the popcorn just reading. Like, well, studying debate tactics, right? Like, I've studied debate. Well, that it's like watching golf for some people, I suppose, but I'll sit there and watch the feeds, how fast they reply, what kind of replies they hit with, what kind of language. Ooh, that guy's pissed. Ooh, I can't wait to see what she's going to say. I do. I completely troll out and go. Like, when I just need to veg out, I go to Reddit or Facebook and just, okay.
It's like people watching, but and the, sort of the forum version of it, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And that's true. Like, I think I've always done that, going, my first screen name was in ICQ. My first person I ever talked to was in London overseas. Like, I'm at 14, 13 years old going, I'm talking to somebody in Britain. Yeah, I want to be, because a great thing about chat rooms is nobody knows I'm there. So that whole Savvy Ninja, how I have such weird contacts that I do, nobody knows the DMs I'm having, the conversations I'm having. We can go read any forum of any group that we're in, right? And then we take that information with us. So here's an example. I need a photographer for a project I have coming up. Traditional folks would be like, let me go to Seattle Girl Bosses and post, hey, can I get a photographer on this date? And right, you can do that. But if you don't understand how Facebook feeds work, you don't understand how groups, if that's the first time you've ever posted in that group, nobody's going to see it, right? Like, so there's all these the social contracts, the digital stuff. If this is your first time posting in this group, you're not going to likely get that served into a main feed because you haven't contributed, But you post that and then you get mad because nobody replies. Well, there must not be any photographers in this group. Oh, ain't nobody got time. Like, that's a call and ask. I don't have time in my life to call forth and ask for an answer. So when I'm looking for a photographer, what did I do? I think about where the people go. Seattle Grotto. I do a search on everybody who's asked for a photographer. So I search in that group, photographer, and I see all the people who have posted. And then I read their replies. I don't give a crap about the OP, the original post. I want to see who's being volunteered, who's being recommended, So I went through like 6 or 8 posts in this group and I went, okay, I see like a top 5 photographers that are being repeated. They're not being tagged properly. So the photographers aren't being tagged. They don't even know they're in these threads. This is just how my brain works. So the idea of I'm going into these groups, I'm forum trolling, seeing what is this? Nope, these moderators, they're not going to let me post that. Oh, these ones might. So I'll go in there. Then I looked through all those and went, ooh, this gal got recommended like 5 or 6 times, but she hasn't replied to any of the threads that she got tagged in. Oh, because she's not tagged. The number of people that referred her unsolicitedly and the lack of her coming in with her sales speech on top of it made me want to go find her. So that's me being a hyper troll. It took me an hour and a half to figure out which photographer I wanted, because I just have to go see what the people are saying and then see how they interact with that. So because she didn't go in and layer on top, oh, thanks, here's my blah, 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 and sales package, she then has a more unassuming brand, a less promotional brand. So then when I reach out to her and I told her about that, she's like, oh my, I didn't even think about that. I was like, yeah, girl, you got tagged in like 5 or 6 different threads. So I want to talk to you simply because everybody else is talking about you. For like, I don't know what you call that, but I have a very deep connection with online forums. That's my guilt. I would do that all day.
It sounds awesome. I kind of want to go do that myself now.
Yeah, it's poaching. Everybody that's on my team, on my support savvy team, not once have I posted a job description. Not once have I taken applications. I poached every single one of them. I intentionally found them out. Like one of my producers, she was in a group. She had posted about producing webinars, and that made me go, ooh, let me look at her. Let me go look at this. Let me look at this. Ooh, people have been referring her for this. Like I did all of this research, noodling around, looking at what she posts, looking at where she posts, da 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 da. And then by the time I reached out to her, I was already ready to buy. Right? I'm like, I need her on my. That's what I need. So then me reaching out, I've never replied to her posts. I've never signed up for her newsletter. Like folks are watching you. Like we worry about the people who do interact with our content and they give us a thumbs up in the comments versus a like and all that other stuff. To me, honestly, I almost don't care about that content. I care about the people who I can't see that are watching me. So I immediately reach out to her, and I have a team of 8 now. Every single one of them. One of them, I poached him for a year. I chased that little guy down, and I would plant seeds. You're really good. Have you thought about writing? Oh, I'd love to, like, yeah, come on, man. Finally got him on my team. But this poaching, like this being intentional, we don't have to sit here and go, who wants to be on my podcast? Go look at who here wants to be, like, look at everybody, let them do the work and see the people who are being repeated over and over and over. If it was a podcast, I'd look at, okay, this person got referred 3 times. And then all of the people that referred them, they all live in the same location. Oh, so you guys like work together. You're like a little fan hive, right? Like I get really into that. Oh, that's fan hiving. That doesn't do me any good. I want organic, original, authentic referrals. And same with the people. I want people that are out posting, showcasing their knowledge without them knowing it. I poach. It's like intentional poaching.
But it's cool too, because I mean, it's on your terms, right? You know, you can do it. You can do all your background research, and as you say, by the time you sort of appear, the deal's done.
Right. Like online dating. Right? You can swipe as much as you want, my friends. Keep swiping. That's the thing about being a ninja or being a troller. I may not interact with much of y'all's content. I assure you I'm seeing it though, and I'm referring it, I'm sharing it, I'm telling people about it, and you may never even know that I'm watching. And some folks will be like, oh, that's scary. No, what a cool opportunity. What a cool opportunity to not be distracted by the noise that's in front of me. And that's what likes and comments and all, you know, I feel like that's the noise in front of me. We have full freedom.
No, that's true. I mean, it's control, and that's one of your values, right?
Right. Oh, I'm easygoing. No, I'm just prepared for a lot of things.
Yeah, it's like, it was coincidence we came across each other after I've stalked you for 12 months. Yes.
Right. Like, oh, fancy that. No, dude, I've been like needling, freaking going this way. Because it's back to that collaboration part of it. So like, it's not about finding the right person for the project. It's about finding that person, whether it's your boss, your spouse, business partner, employee. Like, how do we figure out what these people, like what people want? What's our trade? What's good for Mighty Pete that I can bring to his world outside of just money? Like I roll my eyes going like, we can do transactions all day long. That's not what stands out as brands, right? Like we've spent all this last, let's say 8 years, marketing. Everybody's a marketer. We got to market and have a brand and a market. And then we got to market. Okay. But here's the thing is we've got lipstick on hundreds of pigs now because nobody knows how to articulate their own value. Go to my website. Can you just tell me what you do? Can you 1-to-1. Oh, I'm scared of networking because you don't know what you do. Oh, I'm scared of applying because you don't know what you do. I'm scared to go into performance review because you don't know what you do. I'm scared to go ask for more money because apparently you don't know what you do, right? If you go to a car dealership and say, this car costs $10,000, but I'd like you to just charge me $5,000 for it, they're going to look at you funny. If you think that you're $10,000, why in the world would you take less money? You must not know that you're worth $10,000. You don't know what you do. You don't know the value. You're confusing value and worth. So in that rant, I get so excited about this. Like, everything boils down to, do you know what you do? Do you know what you do? Do you know the value that you bring? Do you know the problems that you solve? It doesn't necessarily matter who you solve them for, but I feel like most of the apprehension is stuff like, we're all just not grounded in what you do. What do you do? How do you bring value? Because then the method doesn't matter. There's going to be a quote, I think it is from a Nelson Mandela book, but it's like, be grounded in your goals and flexible in your approach. If I don't know what my goals are, and you can call that your goals. I'm not a goal setter. I hate setting goals because I feel like I'm trapped and I'm at recess or at school. I'm a commitment maker. I will commit my energy to making my business thrive. And here's how I'm going to do it. I will commit to running once a month. No, I won't. It's different. Your brain operates different. When you say I have a goal, that's removed. It's nice to have a goal. A goal can kind of sit up here as this little fluffy little unicorn. I have a goal, right? But there's no stairway leading me there. I am committed to making sure my business becomes my primary income. Oh, shit. I'm committed. Oh, just saying that makes me nervous, right? Versus my goal is to have my business successful. Okay, pretty. My goal is to win $1 million. I don't know how you get there, right? I'm commitment based.
I mean, it's amazing when you actually look at it, as you say, like that, in terms of what works for you. What's on your bucket list then? What's the big things out there for you?
I know you're gonna laugh. I'd love to scale Mount Rainier. I'd love to get another. I'd love to get a fifth, that's 14,000 feet. I've been at 10,000 feet. I'd love to get to 15,000. That's my bucket list. Yeah. So in terms of that, like, I'd love to do another big hike. I love summits. I love the I hate getting there, but I love getting there. I'd love to have some more summits. Second guilty pleasure or bucket list. At one point I had a full room VR setup. I'd really like to have that again. You have not lived until you have played Fruit Ninja on virtual reality, my friend. I felt like a samurai. And then my third bucket list, I think because I'm not sure if it's interesting. I think I want to write a book about the Great Danes. I think that their story and the adventures I went through with them deserve a space in time. Because they're nuts, my friend. Like, I can't even. It's like having two grown men poop in your backyard. I mean, they were 180 pounds apiece. So like, they're roommates. I mean, everything in your life revolves around that. Are they expensive to buy? Are you kidding me? They're $500 a month to feed. Who cares how much they cost? Did you sit and do the math? Well, if they each live for 10 years, this is going to cost you $70,000. No, I didn't.
Well, it's like, it's like with kids or something. It's like, well, how do you cope? And it's like, well, I can't give them back. So that's a bloody pointless question, right?
Yeah.
It's I think it was Grant Cardone. He talked about, with his jet, people go, how much does it cost to fill? And it's like, what a stupid question. Yeah. It's like, it costs what it costs. I mean,
it's not like somehow, I've got the money for the plane, but not the fuel. I'm saving up for that. Or with the Danes, what is the best one? Like, I almost got to where, I used to be more social with them, but we couldn't go for walks. So they were blues. So they were all gray and they're giant dogs. People are going to stop. Hey, can I pet your dog or whatever? And so I'd literally be like, what are the top ones? Who's walking who? Stupid question. How much do they cost? Stupid question. Do they eat a lot? No, these guys don't eat at all. They just live on air. That's a weird looking Weimaraner. Yeah, sure is. Idiots. I'd have kids run up to me, go, see, mommy, I told you it wasn't a horse. Now, super fun story. There'll be a chapter on that. So winter coats for Great Danes that are 180 pounds a piece, not really common. I'm a thinker. Horses, baby horses are that size. So we're going to a tack shop. Come on, boys. So I go to a tack shop, which is for horses to buy horse gear and stuff. And I walk in without them. And the little gal is like, hi, how can I help you? And I'm all, do you have like full turnout blankets? I don't have horses. This is me researching because I know there's going to be baby horses or his size. Do you have full turnout blankets? She's like, yeah. What size do you need? Blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, actually, he's here with me. Can I bring him in? Of course, I know what I'm doing. It's like, yeah, we'll just bring him around the back. Because she's thinking it's a horse. I was like, great, I'll be right back. I know he's a dog. So I go get him and I bring him in the front door. This little gal just lost her biscuits. Another gal came out. Everybody's cooing. They flutter around him. I mean, it was like wedding dress day, right? He got like 5 different coats. He got to walk in the mirror, whatever. So it's things you don't think about. Like you might have to go to a horse shop, right? If you're going to take them hiking, they have to have their own backpacks. But guess what? Dog backpacks are too small. So you have to find a guy in the UK that's going to make them custom like bike panniers, right? Like they've got to carry their own stuff. You're going to deal with heat and cold. They sweat, they don't sweat, but they overheat. And then when they stop moving, they got the short fur. So you got to wrap it. Like nobody told me I had to learn how to do equestrian freaking care for these dogs. Yeah, they deserve a book. I mean, I think they deserve a comic book, frankly, but just things that you don't think about. One of them ate the knoll post off the solid oak banister. One of them ate 3 stairs, the carpet, the pad, and the wood underneath. They can dig a 4-foot by 4-foot hole in about 3.5 seconds.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
These are useful habits to have.
I like
Awesome.
it. I mean, yeah, the bucket list ultimately is being able to care for myself. And at the end of the day, I know that's a laugh because I do a very poor job of it when I'm awake, right? Like we all say, oh, I'm planning for the future by running myself into the ground today. I understand the irony of the desire, but yeah, I love the corporate thing. But I got down moving at Mach 4. Like you get the coin, but then what? If you're not grounded in like what you do, what your purpose, your fire in your belly, then you're just kind of aimlessly floating through life. And drug dealers love that. They love people who are floating.
You like yourself. You love yourself.
Oh, 2 different words. See, I see what you did. I like myself. Yes. I don't know if I love myself because I don't know if I understand what love is. My brain again goes to that's the repeat expression of affection, and that's your oxytocin levels. And again, I have so much energy. Try being me. Try making a decision about something. I like who I am because I don't know why I have to have a because, but like there's this energy. Nobody has this. I have a very hard time having folks keep up with me in that regard. Like I want to go and see and do, and that's super cool. Might be because I'm 40. Was not super cool when I was in my teens and 20s, right? I have way too many ideas. I'm always talking out of turn. I don't seem to finish anything. No, I like me now. I have no idea what I'm going to be when I grow up, but I like me. And I'm having a journey with trying to understand what love is, right? All these, again, no kids. I can just sit here and think all day, right? I don't have anything to do.
Well, love was, I think it's probably like with your Great Danes. I mean, you can't talk about the Great Danes without a smile, despite them eating 3 stairs, despite
I can see
them,
that.
Doing all the crazy stuff. You kind of go, that's love. It's like, you drive me nuts.
Yeah.
And all the rest, but I still love you.
Yeah, okay. Well, in that I would say, yeah, it's super good because I like the benefit of having dogs. Like I can sit here and go, I love you, but you have ruined my life. Do you have any, like, I would talk to them like, do you have any idea what you cost me? Insanity. I can't have people over. My mom is completely, because they were slobbery as hell too. That was not in the brochure, right? So they fling their heads, you know, like dogs shake their heads. Well, that flings drool on the walls and ceilings, and you don't see it until all the little air particulates pick it up, and it looks like somebody just blew their nose all up the side of the wall, right? So I literally am mopping walls. Yes, that would be love. Completely. You guys have ruined me, but I love you. I have tried to ruin me. I'm still standing. Apparently, I can't kill myself, meaning like I have not been great to myself, but I'm still standing. Like, I love you. You're annoying. I don't always trust you, but I understand where your intentions are. Let's keep going. Let's stumble forward. The other side to that, doesn't matter if I do. Haha, right? So we talk with a lot of females. Well, I don't love myself and I have confidence issues. That can be true, and I still have those. But I got bills to pay. I can't wait to feel good and be all self-actualized. I can't wait to have a perfect relationship with myself before I get out there and make coin. We have to interact with our world. What is it? Warren Buffett? Is it Warren Buffett? No, it wasn't him. It was, I think it was, doesn't matter. All the money you're ever going to make is presently in somebody else's wallet. What are you going to do to get it? I got to talk to people. I got to be approachable. I got to interact. I got to figure this stuff out. I have to get up. It's not contingent on whether or not I like myself. Do I? Yeah. Most days, sure. If I don't, doesn't matter. Not an excuse. Like, you don't get to go, I'm calling in sick to work today because I don't like myself. I don't think parents get to do that. I'm not feeling very dad today. I'm just going to go ahead and take the day off. You can't wait. You can't wait.
I have young twin girls.
Package set.
And a common question. Well, people sort of say is, I don't know how you do it. It's like, seriously, what's my choice?
You do. That's the thing. What do you do? I didn't go here and say, oh, I want to start a business. I got bills to pay. The W-2 route is getting a little inconsistent for me. I at least want to deal with controllable inconsistencies. We don't have a choice in my world. Like you said, we do it. We have to get up and do it. Am I going to wait for the ideal job description? Am I going to wait until this manager somehow like has an epiphany moment and gives me triple my salary? Like, yeah, you can wait, girlfriend, but that's not going to get you anywhere.
Kind of loops back nicely because, I mean, almost, you know, what you were saying, you know, in the sort of executive assistant role, it's empowering and debilitating at the same time. It's that the salary is good enough to keep you, but not enough to make you fat.
No.
And it's kind of that you're held at that point, and it's kind of going, it's the most emotional hostage situation you can get.
Oh, you nailed that. That is such a good description. It's like, yeah, being emotionally held hostage. So you get these admins like myself that have, let's just say we'll use a 10-year mark. They've been in it 10 to 12 years, making six figures. There's nothing to necessarily pivot to. There's not oh, you're so great. I was lucky. I had one exec during one of my performance reviews actually say, you know, have you thought about consulting? Because like, you are so bad at this, you know, you are so bad at this part of this. And this is my manager going, you should have a career chat with yourself because like, where do I go from here? So if he hadn't actually kind of planted that seed, right? A couple of financial advisors, I'm pushing them to get involved in the admin world. Do you know how many of us or former us's or whatever, like making six figures plus, and there's no, because they're not a director or they don't have the title that, you know, financial advisors typically target, right? Amazon, let's say that all of us admins that work at Amazon, like stock. Do you know what to do with that? Do you know how to manage that? Like, we're making these, I made great money and I have piss all to show for it. I piss all to show for it. And that's my, you know, my own doing, but I had piss all to show for it because I got up into the ranks, got all this cash, money. Now what do? I didn't pay attention to any of it. I have no credit. I have no assets. I have nothing. Like, I just pissed it all away because I didn't have kids. I didn't have to be responsible. So this idea of like being strategic about your career, but when you get to that senior EA level, there is a very high risk that you're going to immediately outgrow it. Oh, I want to be a business partner. I want to be an integrated partner to my exec. Y'all, there's a cost to that. And that's on your way out. That is you on your way out of the industry, of the profession. You're going to feel guilt because you're like, oh, I've been an admin my whole life. And now you're going to start a business. Really? You're supposed to be the one getting coffee, girl. What are you doing? So I want to grow. I want to make more money. But then they're not thinking about the unintentional consequences that come with it. Do you know how to manage that money? Are you able to maintain the performance that's needed at that level? Turns out I'm not. I can get the job, but I can't keep it, right? I don't have the drive to maintain it. Can you adapt? Do you know these types of people? It is not the nicest people in the world that can afford to pay a person $100,000 a year just to manage their calendar. Not saying it's a bad person, but like thinking about the type of folks, their personalities, their behaviors, what they had to do in order for them to be able to spend $100,000 a year to have somebody manage their calendar. Have you thought about that? Most admins or most senior EAs, I would say no. They just want more title, more money. I want folks to feel like, yeah, you can do whatever it is that you're looking for, but to sit back and think deeper about it. This EA and admin world, most of what people see online is probably the mid-tier that's looking for answers and industry framework and structure. Like there's 10 million of us in the US, but not all of us are at that senior level. What do we do when we get to that senior level? How do we take ownership of our careers? All of these non-admin things. Oh, I know, by listening to business leaders and finding folks like Fire in the Belly and listening to the different speakers. Like you have to get out of your own way. You can't wait. You can't wait for the industry to tell you, here's your career progression. Because you know what? I want money faster than that ladder. How are we going to get there? I just want the world and everything in it. Is that all? Is that too much to ask?
Don't think so.
It's a quote from Scarface. I want my world and everything in it.
What do you deserve?
What do I deserve? That's nothing in my world. I think we earn stuff. I have a hard time with deserve not meaning entitled. I don't know if that makes sense. I think, I know I'm going to I have to answer the word. No, I think that I've done a great job being intentional and investing in me, what I want to do, and the people around me to get there. Am I at my destination yet? Nope. And to some level, I hope I don't reach it, because then what am I going to reach for? What happens if I'm not reaching for something? I feel like I've paid a lot of dues. I've had probably what I would call the boot camp of corporate careers. When you get into that logic side, right? I literally had an exec go, when I have stopped critiquing you, it means I'm looking for your replacement. And that's how we operated. So I would get starved for feedback. Like, oh gosh, she hasn't told me I've done something wrong or something I need to fix. He must be replacing me. Like all lovely people in their own brands, but not the career that I think most people would volunteer for, because I'll take on any challenge, right? I'll get it done. And then we go back to that feels stuff. Oh, wait, I have feels. When did that happen? I didn't have feels in my 30s. Now I got feels in my 40s. Whatever.
I love it. There's so many levels. It's like, never mind the onion. It's like just so many levels more, and I can't even, oh dear. It is like geological levels. It's like, yeah, this is this level, and we're digging at this level into Melissa now, and we're at this level at this point, and yeah, we're getting hot. We're getting closer to the core.
Oh no! Oh Lord, no, it's good.
What's a good? I mean, you mentioned three earlier, but I mean, what's a sort of a good book reference, person reference for you?
As far as so a couple of most, I would say my two books, right? Books that have really stuck out to me in the last 2 years. There's a book by Larry Winget called "Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life." So I have a very heavy male network. I come from tech, software, gamers, right? That book for me, "Shut Up, Stop Whining, and Get a Life," kicked me in my proverbial teeth in such a wonderful way, because it helped me recognize the volume of excuses I make. Yeah, so mommy and daddy aren't married, and right? Okay, so you've got some adjusted learning difficulties, and right? You've got this. Go, shut up, stop whining, and get a life. Pick yourself up. Perfect. Second book that was probably the most impactful that I would recommend, Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. Why is that? For me, that book was incredibly powerful, taking a look at shame, looking at how we interact with, manifest, and operate with shame. Something that I don't think people think a lot about. But when we talk about confidence, executive presence, emotional responses, right? Like what are, if I get anywhere near shame, I shut down. So for me, I've got, I was raised in a born again household. Shame is part of the curriculum, right? Like that's what you are supposed to be shameful and embarrassed of the things that you do. So that book was really great, Daring Greatly. I really dig that. I actually have just finished the 10X by Grant Cardone. That's more just like pleasure reading. I love those books. This is, for lack of a better, that's mental masturbation. Like there are those books where you're just going to love everything that's in it. And that's one of those, like Gary V and Grant, whatever, I'm in. Read it.
It's just a rah-rah, right? It's cool. As you say, we know where this is going. I love it. Mental masturbation is just, yeah, it's true. It's there. It's not going to be a cliffhanger. It's going to be go
It's
hard,
just
go
something
fast.
that's validating, makes you feel good.
No, awesome.
I also don't read fiction, so that's weird. It's the same thing. I was like, I make it akin to like people who read fiction. There's entertainment in that, that gives you something. The 27 lecture series on the art of argumentation. I love this stuff, right? But there can be learning that's fun. I'm like a big fan of Seth Godin and Simon Sinek, but there's all this trend here. I'm a fan of reading about strategies and structures in business. Turns out that's what my fun time is. They've had the girl wash your face and, finding your confidence and being okay and all this other stuff. And I think that that's all well and good. Again, if you're someone like me that goes, I can operate without confidence. Like I can be successful without thinking I'm the bee's knees because I understand what I'm selling. I understand the value I bring. Cool. This is what I can do for you. Da, 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 da. But to be able to like successfully do business that CEO way and then work on yourself on the side and in the back, I think there's some ninja to that too, because I watch my CEOs over the years, right? They don't, there's that level of authenticity and vulnerability before you just become a blithering idiot that nobody trusts or wants to follow. Finding those books and those resources that kind of like help you learn on the side. I didn't know I was struggling with shame until I read that book.
What are your main Achilles heels?
Financial responsibility. I'm not great at it. Financial responsibility is one of mine that's not great because I learned at an early age that I just know how to make money. I don't have to necessarily plan and be as organized as maybe I should be because I just know how to go grind it out. Like go get money. My second Achilles heel, I'd say would be compliments. And I don't mean it in terms of like, oh, I'm embarrassed. I just don't know what to do with that. What do I reflexively give you one back? Do I take it and put it in some kind of hole I don't have? Like, I don't, this is that awkward thing again. I don't know how to do that. So I'll be at the top of my game and I'll be I got 200 people and they're going like, Melissa, we just want to thank you for the, oh God, just let me go. Just let me go. Just let me go. So I think that's an Achilles. I don't do well with finances or compliments. What is the two things that most humans want in their life? Finances and compliments, right?
Yeah. Love, connection, money, any of the above.
Any of the above. Yeah. Does it spark joy? Does it spark coin? If no, it's gotta go.
I like it. What's your fire in the belly then in 1 or 2 words?
1 to 2. I can do 2 words. Authentically intentional. Authentically intentional. Making any and every action you do lead to something bigger or be a part of something. That's what drives you. No, very few people I know go, "Ooh, my task list is complete. Now my life is whole." No, the fire is that thing that you wake up every day, my retirement, the happiness of my family, the success of my business, whatever that thing is, you must authentically show up and act with intention. We can't just like fling spaghetti on the wall and see what sticks. We don't have enough time. I don't have enough time to have 6 failed businesses in order to get one going. I've got to be intentional and authentic because we're all out here trying to cut through the crap. I don't have time to memorize a script. I don't have time to memorize, here's how I'm supposed to be in this setting, and here's how I'm supposed to be. I'm just intentional and authentic. Here's who I am. Here's what I do. Here's what I'm looking to do. No, I'm not really great with fluff and stuff, but I promise you I'll never lie to you. And I will always have your best interest in mind, even if that means I get out of the way. Like I am legitimately, authentically here to help you get through whatever it is in your business that's separating you, that's keeping you from your coin.
Is there a chance you're flexing a pleaser gene?
Tell me more about that.
Being built to serve is one thing, but at your own sacrifice, that's a different.
Yes, I think that'll tie back into a little bit of that shame level though. I think some of that comes from like being in a Pentecostal household and you are of service. You're basically on borrowed time. It's a gift that you're here. Don't waste it. Don't screw it up. You got to spend your whole waking life trying not to screw up this gift you've been given. So I think having that at a very young age, installed you are only worth the service you provide or the value. Granted, now I'm on the other side of it going, buddy, I don't care. I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to walk away from a lucrative career. I'm going to give up my place in Seattle and I'm going to go live in the woods. At the expense of myself, that is definitely a sliver in the gears, so to speak, because of that relentless energy. So folks are like, that relentless energy, you're so tenacious, you're so nonstop. Yes, but there isn't a throttle on that. And that can get spun into things that I'm not supposed to be. 12 years relationship, right? Like that I'm not supposed to be trying everything I can. I don't know when to pull out, when to call it sometimes. And it does, it costs me a lot. Because you often don't know what it's cost you until you get the bill, right? Like you're sitting in some apartment, you're gone, your spouse is gone, your job's gone, right? Like if you don't, then you're sitting here going, what happened? What happened here? You have to be able to like authentically show up for yourself and be intentional with it, or you're just at the effect. Like everything around me was gone. All pieces of identity I had gone. Now what do? I don't know. I'm going to authentically inquire. I don't know. Just be me. I can't memorize the script. So we got to just figure out how to be ourselves. I feel like I'm this wannabe motivational speaker that doesn't want to be a motivational speaker. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I want people to be inspired and motivated, and I'm sort of begrudgingly kind of becoming the person that's doing that. Does that make sense? Like I like cheering people on. I like helping them solve problems.
Yeah, I get it. I do get it. I think you've your journey, your perception, your reflection is awesome. I love it.
Thanks. Like,
And I love you don't hide, which is pretty cool. I think you'd be more authentic here, than most, and that's for that I respect. It's true. So all I can say is thank you for that. Where
oh
can
yes, yeah. Well, it even down to being with you, intentional. Okay, I'm going to appear on a podcast. I sat at some point. I've got to, I want to do this. My mouth is my money, right? That's my trade. All right. So if I'm going to do that, what kind am I going to do? Right? Am I going to end up on an admin podcast? Am I going to end up on a women's in business podcast? Like it's being so incredibly intentional down to the details, not getting drowned by them, but going, all right, if I'm going to appear on a podcast, I want something that's completely out of my industry. I want somebody that hasn't heard from me, because they're not going to have these preconceived notions. They're not going to be asking me the same damn questions that I get asked on the other stuff, so even down, like I have fire in my belly. I want to grow my business. I understand that my mouth is my money and I need to get it out there. That doesn't mean appear on every podcast ever, doesn't matter. Just get me screen time. No, I'm a passionate person. It makes perfect bleeding sense that the thing I'd be on would be fire in your belly. That makes sense. Like that's duh, of course you are. So I'm not getting burnt out going, okay, I've been on 100 podcasts. I don't like any of them. They're all, no, like it has to make sense. If I'm going to bother to do this, same with your show. If you're going to bother all of the energy, you're not here trying to recruit executive assistants to your podcast, my friend. I get that. But you're going like, oh, she's cool. She's going to have insight. She's going to appeal to my audience. Being really intentional about the energy we spend.
No, so true. I think it's you're bang on. You do what you want to do and do it right, and focus your energy on that. Makes a lot of sense.
And you'll attract the kind of people that do the same. Because you're much nicer than an executive, I gotta say. See, as soon as I said I ain't taking no executive crap no more, guess what? Executive crap stopped coming my way. Imagine that.
Isn't it funny? What we tell ourselves and what we do and what we believe, but hey, you got a midlife opportunity. It's the world's your oyster.
Right.
You got the badge, you got the slippers.
Right.
Go shopping.
Right?
That's what's
Made
all
it
about.
out. It's like nobody's dead so far.
Tell me this: where can people hunt you down, stalk you, follow you?
Well, that's part of the game, right? If you can find me online, good job. No, so yeah, good job. No, so again, so Melissa Mosher, you can find me at supportsavvy.com. I am on Facebook as well. I'm currently going through a rebrand, and we'll share an update once I have this site. It's on a landing page right now, but it's supportsavvy.com. Or you can find me on Instagram, Savvy Ninja. There's only one support savvy. There's only one crazy redheaded ginger that's running around saying I do virtual events, as far as I know. So hit me up either on the website, on LinkedIn, on Facebook. I'm almost always available to chat, and I'm pretty good about managing responses to that because I live online. So I may not get to right away, but know that I manage all my platforms myself personally. So you're not going to end up with my assistant or anything like that. Or you can shoot me an email, melissa@supportsavvy.com.
Love it. Final message?
Final message. Whatever you do, I promise you the world needs it. I promise you there are enough people, whether you're hearing the demand from your market or not, what you do, we need it. There are people that can't even tell you they need it. Get it out there. Get it out here. We need what you have. Everything, every skill, every trade, every expertise that we have right now, we need it now more than ever. Get online, get empowered, get the resources, the people. Call me, we'll figure it out. But we need what you have to do. Please bring it out for us.
Melissa, it's been awesome. Thank you.
I appreciate this. Awesome fan. Can't wait to see all the future episodes, listen to all the future episodes. And thank you for just receiving my energy today, because that in itself is a chore. Like to be like to be an interviewer, you are receiving all of that energy and almost like not necessarily giving a lot of exchange back. So I know that that's a lot of energy coming your way. Thank you for tracking well, relevant conversations, great onboarding. It's really a fun experience. So if anybody's listening to this, this one's fun. He's a good guy, I promise.
This is I did warn you that I kind of I go doodle crazy.
Yeah.
My A3 sheet is rammed full of stuff. It's like, yeah, I've too many cross links going on at this point. It's just a pile of ink. so,
Nice. Then I've done my job. You're inspired, motivated, and exhausted.
Yeah, exactly. All three at once. It's like, yeah, that your work here is done. Thank you. It's been awesome. Till the next time.
Awesome. Thank you, my friends.